What began on a September night in 1939, now 83 seasons of high school football here at Indian Bowl, comes to a close. As in the regular season finale for the Muskogee Ruffers, it is also sine die for Indian Bowl and the history of Ruffer football. Good evening, everybody. I'm Bill Huddleston, along with my broadcast partner for not since 1939, but we've been together for a long time, Nick Hampton. And Nick, as we come into tonight's encounter, both teams pretty much on the same track. Both teams have nothing to play for after tonight. But for Muskogee, I think there's a little bit more at stake, you might say. Albeit it would be a third win on the season. It would be a ticket into the postseason preparations for 2022 with a winning momentum. But it would also be a chance for this year's seniors to go out on their final night as winners. It would be also a chance for the sophomores and juniors and freshmen on the varsity squad to leave Indian Bowl on a winning note and look forward to the start of the 2022 campaign out in Ruffer Nation.
Well, Travis Hill even talked about this last week after the game in his post-game comments a little bit. We talked at length about it. In fact, talking about how you get prepared for this last week. And that's what he said. He said, we're going to appeal to the seniors. This is their ticket out. We want this win. Last game at Indian Bowl. We want the sophomores to help them. We want these underclassmen to go out on a high note. So I think that's really been an emphasis for them this week, is winning one for the Indian Bowl, so to speak.
Ponca City comes in 3-6. They've been on kind of the same track schedule-wise last 2 weeks, having played Bixby and Booker T. And just like the Ruffers came up well short on the scoreboard, Muskogee looking for his third win on the season, but looking for a 10th consecutive victory over the Wildcats in this series, that the Ruffers have a 12-6 advantage. When we come back, it'll be time to go in the locker room and give you a chance to meet one of the Ruffers. He is very active in the special teams. His name, Skylar Onebear, will be our guest. That when we continue from Indian Bowl on Senior Night 2021. That after this time out of Ruffer Football 2021.
Pain is temporary. Pride is forever. At Excel Therapy, we want to be your athlete's advocate for excellence. We offer treatment methods that focus on strengthening muscles and improving flexibility to improve your overall performance. And when injury sets in, Excel Therapy can aid in the recovery process. We know it's important to get back in the game, so trust the comeback experts, Excel Physical Therapy and Sports Medicine. With 16 locations and no physician referral required, you can begin healing today. From setback to comeback, the name you can trust, Excel Physical Therapy and Sports Medicine. Look for us online at exceltherapyok.com.
Red Dirt Production Services proudly supports the Muskogee Ruffers. Productivity in the oil and gas industry requires every member of the team to know their job and do it to the best of their abilities. Just like in football, teamwork is a #1 priority, and that's the mission of Red Dirt Production Services, serving the oil and gas industry through roustabout and well pumping services, along with environmental remediation and pipeline construction. Proud to join forces with the Ruffers to win every day the Muskogee way. Red Dirt Production Services says, go Ruffers!
I'm Kyle Edwards for Kyle Edwards Buick GMC in Muskogee and the all-new Kyle Edwards Auto Group in Shakota. With the addition of Chevrolet, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram in Shakota and Buick GMC in Muskogee, it now gives our customers a great lineup of new makes and models to choose from. We are very proud to bring you a buying experience you won't find anywhere else. If you haven't visited us yet, come give us a chance. You'll like what you see. Family-owned, customer-friendly, Kyle Edwards Buick GMC in Muskogee and Kyle Edwards Auto Group in Shakota.
Each and every week on Ruffer Football, we give you a chance to meet one of the playmakers for the Ruffers. He doesn't run with the football. He doesn't make tackles, or at least we hope he doesn't. He is the place kicker for the Muskogee Ruffers, Skylar Onebear. Skylar, when you think about being a kicker, what comes to mind first of all for you?
Just train, make sure all of our operations are good snap, good hold, good kick. Everything has to go good for me to be able to put the ball through the uprights. We have to have a good operation every single time or else it won't run good. How
do you, your holder, and your center all communicate to be on the same train of thought?
Well, it all comes through Bell. Bell gives a simple signal right before the snap comes, and then my job's just keep my head down, put the ball through the uprights.
How much stronger do you feel like you are as a kicker this year compared to a year ago?
Well, I put in a lot of work. I went to a bunch of camps over the summer. I tried hard to get everything together that I could, get my technique down, and I've improved tremendously.
How about kicking the ball off the kickoffs? You've been able to find the end zone on multiple occasions. What's going through your mind each and every time you set it up? Is there a specific call that the coaches make where they want you to put the football?
Yes, every single time I step out on the field, I wait for the signal, I wait for what we're doing, and then once I get the signal, I let my people know.
Now, obviously, you and Coach Whitlow spend a lot of individual time together. What do you guys work on during the week to prepare you for a Friday night game?
Usually we work on punts, field goals, and kickoffs. We do a lot of repetition, a lot of the same exact thing.
What do you feel like is the best part of your kicking game? Is it the kickoff? Is it the field goal, PAT, punt? What's the favorite for Skylar Onebear?
I actually really like kickoff whenever I get to kick it deep, and but at the moment my strong suit is actually punt.
He's had some pretty good boots there, my man. Now, tonight, if you get the opportunity to step out on the field and knock home a game-winning field goal or game-winning PAT, are you going to be confident or are you going to be a little bit nervous?
I'm confident in my skills. I'm confident in the operation. I'm confident that everything will go smooth.
Hey, congratulations on what's been a good season, and let's go out and finish it with a win.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Skylar Onebear, our guest here in our pregame countdown to kickoff. Get to know the Ruffers. He wears number 18 for Muskogee tonight against Ponca City. Back with more after this timeout. Travis Hill will join us for our pregame chat. That after this timeout of Ruffer Football 2021.
In times of need, it's comforting to see faces of people you know and trust. Cornerstone Funeral Home in Muskogee cherishes the opportunity to be there for you and your family in life's most challenging times when friends are most important. Cornerstone Funeral Home and Crematory welcomes the opportunity to answer any questions regarding planning and pre-arrangements for you and your loved ones. Experience the difference. Cornerstone Funeral Home, 1830 North York in Muskogee, where you'll find faces you know and reputations you trust.
It's a special time of the year at J. Hodge Chevrolet in Muskogee. No tricks. I hope we get this right. Oklahoma, it's treats for trade-ins, and we need trade-ins. Come get a trade-in bonus up to $1,500 when you buy your new Chevy. No tricks. Get an appraisal at the dealership or at your home. Treats for trade-ins up to $1,500 extra. No tricks. J. Hodge Chevrolet in Muskogee. 144 West Shawnee.
Welcome back on Ruffer Football 2021 for the final time and for the last time in history. A home football game for the Muskogee Ruffers at Indian Bowl. Travis Hill, our guest in this segment, and Coach, that's kind of tugs at the heartstrings of any Ruffer football fan to know that this is scheduled to be the final home appearance for the Ruffers at historic Indian Bowl.
Yeah, very, very interesting thought, and as being the head coach and representative of the Ruffer football program, it's very interesting. So tonight when we get through and I will walk out and hopefully either time it or make sure I go turn off the lights and just kind of think that through a little bit, Bill. So that is a great thought, interesting thought. Look forward to it.
It is the final regular season game for not only the Ruffers but also for Muskogee's opponent, Ponca City. Both teams in district play come in at 2-4. Wildcats have one more victory earlier on the season, so they're 3-6 on the season. How do you motivate your football team to play in these type of an environment when there's not anything past tonight's game?
First thing we just kind of mentioned, last game at the Indian Bowl. So there's a motivating factor for a legacy to be able to say, hey, we walked out of here with a win is very, very important. I know to the community, and as we talked earlier in the week to some of the former Ruffers that they're going to be here tonight. So that's one way to push them. The other way is because of the new society we got in our kids, sometimes the tradition doesn't always get to them. But we are a young football team, and it is very, very, very important for us. It's a playoff game for us to be able to go in and leave with that momentum. And a lot of people say, well, that's false momentum. It's just your last game. And it's a win, Bill, is a win with a young football team. And that's what they're going to, like I said, next week and in the weeks to come, that's a good taste in your mouth and a good kickstart for your off season.
And certainly it's also the last chance for this group of seniors to play in front of the home crowd on Indian Bowl and to know that when they hang up their headgear tonight and walk out of the stadium for the final time on game night, that they have an opportunity to go out as a winner.
No doubt. And not everybody's going to get that opportunity, Bill. Obviously, there's people in the playoffs that are not going to, obviously, there's going to be one of those. So they do. They get an opportunity to it's a legacy that they get to move on. And with the success the program will have in the future, it has a lot to do with our seniors this year. So it's their last go. Opportunity, as you said, to go out with a win and leave some special moments.
Travis Hill, our guest in this segment of Rougher Football tonight from Indian Bowl. When we come back, it'll be time to talk offense with Chris Reisenhoover and the game plan of putting points on the scoreboard tonight against the Wildcats of Ponca City. That when we return after this timeout on Rougher Football 2021.
When you come home after a long day, Bravado Wireless Home Internet has you covered in your neighborhood or on your farm. For a limited time, our unlimited home internet has been discounted to only $49 per month with the purchase of a $99 router. And get this, the first 3 months of service is on us. So what are you waiting for? Make the switch today and visit us at bravadowireless.com for more info and to find a store near you. We are Bravado Wireless, and we believe in the power of connection.
Pioneer Abstract, proudly serving residential and commercial customers throughout Muskogee County since 1905, serving banks, mortgage companies, and mortgage brokers with refinancing, purchase, 1031 tax-deferred exchanges, along with full escrow services and more. Pioneer Abstract offers the convenience of centralized services for escrow accounts, title insurance, and title searches. Pioneer Abstract, here yesterday, here today, and here tomorrow at 412 West Broadway in downtown Muskogee, or call Pioneer Abstract at 683-2904.
Chris Reisenhoover, 3, 2, 1. Welcome back on Rougher Football tonight from Indian Bowl. Muskogee at home against the Wildcats of Ponca City. We bring in offensive coordinator Chris Reisenhoover for some strategy conversations about the game plan for tonight against Ponca City. First of all, the Cats come in much like the Roughers. Their season ends tonight. But what do they bring in defensively that will challenge the green and white?
Well, they bring in a defensive theory that Coach Harmon has always lived with, and that is, throw a net over the top of them, play some two-read, and he's as good as anybody in the state with the back end calls. So they're going to have eyes on the ball. They're going to do a good job of passing stuff off to one another and really playing with good leverage on their defensive back end and trying to contain the run with their personnel. So it's a tough defense. I'm a guy that, to be honest, I probably shouldn't even say it, but don't really like attacking cover two, never have, and we have to tweak some stuff in our offense to get things done, but look forward to the challenge, the historic night here at shutting down the Indian Bowl, and just expect us to go out there and create some offenses and points.
Where do those key points of attack come from, Chris? You talked about having to make some adjustments in the way that Ponca City strategically plays their defense to deny anybody, including the Bixbys, the Choctaws that could not or had problems running the football. Where do you find that opportunity to break things and put points on the board?
Well, we have some stuff where we'll have to turn some people loose up inside and do a good job of making decisions and reading them. Hopefully we're able to get off the football enough to, create some natural lanes with just some gap plays. We'll just have to feel that whenever we get out there. If we're getting pushed and we're moving the ball, then the game becomes easy. If not, then you have to resort to turning some people loose or turning them loose and influencing them. With their ability to throw a net over you in the back end, we're going to have to do a great job on the perimeter of kicking them out instead of trying to leverage things and get the ball to the boundary, because it's impossible to get the ball to the boundary on a cover two type shell. So we will have to extend our splits with our receivers and create some windows up inside of the corners and hopefully find some creases in the running game there. And then, of course, there's always windows in any defensive scheme in a passing game. We just got to dial it up and make the right reads and make the right decisions.
Chris Reisenhoover, our guest in this segment of our pregame countdown to kickoff. We'll come back and talk with defensive coordinator Steve Craver, who will dial up a defensive game plan for shutting down the run game of Ponca City. That after this timeout on Rougher Football 2021.
We are what makes Oklahoma proud. We are mothers. We are coaches, counselors, and teachers. We are community. We are innovators in medical technologies. We are researchers developing breakthroughs to diagnose, treat, and cure diseases. We are everyday people. We are Northeastern Health Systems.
Having a good time is an American tradition, and at James Hodge, we're proud Americans. Now is the greatest time to get together, get out, and get away, no matter where the open road takes you. Your journey starts at James Hodge, an authentic part of Oklahoma for over 50 years. Get in a perfect ride at James Hodge Ford.
The James Hodge Ford Promise. The best selection, the absolute best price, and service guaranteed. James Hodge Ford, 1200 North Main, Muskogee. Online at hodgeford.com. Rougher football tonight from Indian Bowl. Muskogee at home against the Wildcats of Ponca City. We bring in defensive coordinator Steve Craver. And oh, what a difference 2 weeks makes, or a week makes, in the opponent tonight for the Roughers and the style of play that you must formulate a defensive game plan.
Yeah, we started out with a team going hurry up, no huddle offense, running 80 plays a game, to a team that's going to put 2 tight ends and a fullback in there, is going to try to line up and crush us at the line of scrimmage. So 2 totally different teams that we're facing from the beginning to the end, but football is football at the end of the day.
Steve, let's talk a little bit about how you have to re-strategize defensively against the ball club that will go double tight, that will go with those 2 backs, and has a quarterback that is a capable runner.
Yeah, you want to get the guys that you think that are good tacklers in the box. Obviously, we've personnel that where we've evaluated our guys that we feel like can play in that box. Obviously, we're still searching for those type of guys, but we're looking for guys to get downhill, stop the run, that we want to make them one-dimensional, and that's what they want to do. So if we can control that and try to get them into a passing situation, I think that'll be advantage us.
You've had some difficulties, though, throughout the season being able to make stops, being able to complete a tackle. You get there. You get some contact, but you can't take the guy to the ground. Ponca City's got guys that have that lower leg strength and the downhill type of approach that won't go down on the shoulder.
We want to game tackle. Obviously, we preach running to the football to the echo of the whistle. We feel like if we can get 2 or 3 guys to the point of attack, that gives us the best chance to bring some of these guys down that are bigger. As long as we're running to the football, attacking the near shoulder, near hip, and using that sideline as our friend, we think that'll give us the best chance to win tonight.
Steve, I know Chris Reisenhover has poured over endless hours of videotape trying to find that window that he can get into space and create opportunities. I know you've done the same thing. What is the scouting report on how the Roughers will be defensively successful tonight? Maybe it's rip and strip. Maybe it's get an occasional pick. Maybe force a fumble with a hard hit. What is the key for the Rougher defense tonight to keeping Ponca City off the scoreboard?
We feel like that offense controls the clock. If you look back at some of the games that they were in, they really control the clock. So defensively, it's going to be the same thing for us. It's just getting stops. If we can get stops, get them behind the sticks, and maybe force them into some throwing downs where they would want to run the football, we feel like that'll give us the best chance to win.
Steve Craver with some defensive strategy for tonight's game against Ponca City. Back with the winning strategy from head coach Travis Hill, brought to you by Michael A. Finnerty, attorney at law, following this time out of Rougher Football 2021. Tradition. It's a word that means a lot. Just as the tradition of the Muskogee Roughers requires commitment of great players and coaches, Lesher Millsap Funeral Home takes pride in providing great value and commitment every day with a tradition of service to the families of the Muskogee area. Just like in football, tradition must be earned on every play, every day, not just in the final score. And that's why you can trust Lesher Millsap Funeral Home to be there for you when it counts the most. Lesher Millsap Funeral Home, proud to be part of the Muskogee tradition of excellence.
Hi, welcome to Nissan Muskogee.
Here in Muskogee, we're just 45 minutes from Tulsa, but us being family owned, like I said, the customers feel like family too.
What makes Nissan and Muskogee different? It's our people and a driving desire to surpass the expectations of our customers.
We care, and that's why they come to us.
Become a part of the family and let our people take care of you. Call 918-683-6605 or go to nissanandmuskogee.com.
Welcome back to Indian Bowl. Muskogee at home for the season finale for 2021 football against the Wildcats of Ponca City. Bill Huddleston with the head coach, the Roughers, Travis Hill. Each and every week at this point, Coach, we talk about the winning strategy, brought to you by Michael A. Finnerty, attorney at law. What is the strategy for the Roughers tonight against the Wildcats that are in much the same situation as Muskogee?
Really interesting. It'll be, like I mentioned, we're going to come into defensively tonight to have to play really well against a different type of offense. More of the tradition. You see, 15, 20 years ago, you won't see all the 10 personnel, one back, Everybody spread out across the field. You'll see 2 backs in the backfield and them running the football with a tight end. So it'll be interesting to see how our kids adjust to that, how they adapt to that. We're going to have to attack the line of scrimmage and see if we can make a difference there. Very good quarterback for the Wildcats, runs the football primarily, so it'll be a talented group to stop. Offensively, I think, we have some advantages. Ponca City does a great job keeping everything in front of you, though. So we're going to have to earn everything. So we can't make the mistakes we made last week because it may take a 10-play drive to get in the end zone. Hopefully we can big play. We've been notorious for that all year long. We've been extremely good on that side of football with big hits. When I say big hits, big yardage plays, big chunk plays. So hopefully a little bit of that tonight and some more consistency on offense will take care of it. And another night, Bill, of just a good, solid kicking game, kind of like we had last week. That was a big plus for us in a loss, and a big loss. But we did play well on the kicking as far as our special teams.
So with all the practices coming down to one final 48-minute stanza, is there one of those keys on your key ring that unlocks the door to a victory?
Well, yeah, I do. I'm going to tell you, it's real simple. If we score 28 points, we win. I think we'll hold them to less than that, but I think they'll get every bit of that. But so it'll be a matter of, like I said, taking care of the football and get to our 28 points. So the magic key is 28 points tonight.
And for you to be able to walk to the north end and flip the switch and turn the lights off and think about it as you walk back to your vehicle heading home, to know that when you locked the gate at Indian Bowl, the Ruffers were on top.
Great thought, and will be. We'll just stay positive with it. And like I said, it will be very interesting, all the thoughts that will run through my mind. As the days progressed, it's kind of one of them things that's been there. I'm looking forward to it, and it'll be interesting how we walk down that from the north end to the south end to get in the car and how we feel and what we're thinking about.
Head coach Travis Hill with some pregame thoughts and our winning strategy, brought to you by Michael A. Finnerty, attorney at law. Back with Coach Leo Krajewski. He'll give us the health of the Ruffers, brought to you by Excel Physical Therapy. That after this timeout on Ruffer Football 2021.
In sports, having the right winning strategy is often the difference between winning and losing. The same is true when you need legal representation. For more than 15 years, the law offices of Michael E. Finnerty have successfully provided the winning strategy with excellence and integrity for the people of the Muskogee area in matters of personal injury, Social Security disability, and workers' compensation issues. The law office, Muskogee trusts Michael A. Finnerty, ready to develop a winning strategy. Michael A. Finnerty, 436 Court Street in Muskogee. Call 687-1155. Online at finnertylaw.com.
It's a time when uncertainty spreads faster than understanding. It's also a time when taking steps to prepare can help us all find a sense of security. At ServPro, helping our nation's homes, businesses, and shared spaces be more clean, be more safe, is why we're here. Here in your community, here to help.
Health of the Ruffers here on the field. Brought to you by Excel Physical Therapy tonight in the final regular season game. Leo, you've had 10 weeks of this. You've had every experience, and now it looks like here weather-wise tonight we're going to get a perfect night.
Yeah, like I said, no rain, no nothing. It's football weather. Thank God. Thank God it's football weather finally.
It has been a challenge to you and your staff, though, to overcome heat, cold, wet, keeping an eye on the sky for that flash of lightning, and then also keeping the mindset of the Ruffers in their best shape.
Exactly. It's been a full gambit, you can say. We've had every experience possible from early on till late. We've had experiences I was not expecting, like I said, humidity in October and that type of thing. Lightning, like a lot this year. We've had a lot of lightning issues, not only with senior high football, but JV and also freshmen as well. So we've run the full gambit this year.
And you've certainly had an opportunity to be involved in the off-the-field conditioning too, because that starts early in the morning for you with the weightlifting classes.
Exactly. We start, our first period is football weightlifting, so we're in there doing that. Like I said, we do our lifting in there. We get all that lifting done out of the way in the morning. Then the afternoon, after practice, that's our last period for football practice, is our conditioning. And we try to make it as sports-specific or player-specific as possible. In other words, we're not going to condition a lineman the same way I would condition a back and receiver. It just makes no sense. So same thing, defense to offense. Like I said, a lot of pursuit drills with that defense, in other words.
You know, as a trainer and as a coach, that helps on Friday night.
Oh yes, sir. It definitely helps. I think that's one thing. Having worked with I've worked with a ton of programs. Worked with a lot of different programs. Each coach has a different philosophy, and one thing that I have seen consistently over is the conditioning aspect. Those teams that maintain a good conditioning program, maybe back it off a little bit as the season goes on, just because of wear and tear, but stay with a consistent conditioning program throughout the year, tend to be the ones that tend to have less injuries and are going farther as the year goes on.
Speaking of injuries, we'll get the health of the Ruffers and who can and who cannot play in tonight's regular season finale against the Ponca City Wildcats. Health of the Ruffers brought to you by Excel Physical Therapy. We're back after this time out on Ruffer Football 2021.
Pain is temporary, pride is forever. At Excel Therapy, we want to be your athlete's advocate for excellence. We offer treatment methods that focus on strengthening muscles and improving flexibility to improve your overall performance. And when injury sets in, Excel Therapy can aid in the recovery process. We know it's important to get back in the game, so trust the comeback experts, Excel Physical Therapy and Sports Medicine. With 16 locations and no physician referral required, you can begin healing today. From setback to comeback, the name you can trust, Excel Physical Therapy and Sports Medicine. Look for us online at exceltherapyok.com.
Welcome back on Ruffer Football 2021. Health of the Ruffers brought to you by Excel Physical Therapy. And Leo, 10 weeks into a season, whether you're the championship team or you're the cellar dweller, it doesn't matter. Everybody's going to have bumps and bruises, but the health picture of the Ruffers tonight is perhaps as good as you could hope for.
Exactly. We've only had one person who's out. That's Vernon with getting his knee scoped. Everybody else is back, which is, sign of the cross there, man. Hallelujah for that one. But we've actually done very, very well. We've been able to maintain a pretty healthy team throughout the doggone year, so that's helped out a lot.
What do you have to watch for tonight, though, with players that have been bothered by nagging injuries?
Just that unexpected limp or something like that. Somebody not doing something they normally do. Like I said, that unexpected limp after a tackle or after a pile up. Somebody may be a little woozy, coming out of a pile or something like that after a big hit. Those things. Even though it's the end of the year, you still got to keep an eye on those things. You always have your eyes on the field, see what's going on. It's like I said, somebody's doing this little hitch in the giddy up. That could be a problem. And you don't want that to be a problem going into the off season. You don't want them to have to spend most of their off season trying to get that healthy and not being able to actually work on their getting better for the next season. So
Health of the Ruffers is brought to you by Excel Physical Therapy with Leo Krayeski each and every week. We'll come back with our starting lineups and more here on this final game of 2021. Muskogee against Ponca City. That after this time out. You're listening and watching to Muskogee Ruffer Football 2021. Red Dirt Production Services proudly supports the Muskogee Ruffers. Productivity in the oil and gas industry requires every member of the team to know their job and do it to the best of their abilities. Just like in football, teamwork is a number one priority, and that's the mission of Red Dirt Production Services, serving the oil and gas industry through roustabout and well pumping services, along with environmental remediation and pipeline construction. Proud to join forces with the Ruffers to win every day the Muskogee way. Red Dirt Production Services says, go Ruffers!
I'm Kyle Edwards for Kyle Edwards Buick GMC in Muskogee and the all-new Kyle Edwards Auto Group in Shakota. With the addition of Chevrolet, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram in Shakota and Buick GMC in Muskogee, it now gives our customers a great lineup of new makes and models to choose from. We are very proud to bring you a buying experience you won't find anywhere else. If you haven't visited us yet, come give us a chance. You'll like what you see. Family-owned, customer-friendly, Kyle Edwards Buick GMC in Muskogee and Kyle Edwards Auto Group in Shakota.
And with our national anthem being played by the Muskogee High School Marching Band, welcome back to Indian Bowl, where it is the final performance of Ruffer football here inside this historic facility. The Nick Hampton, even before you and I were just a babe. This football season that began in 1939 as the home of the Ruffers, this year will be the final time.
And there's been a lot of memories. A lot of great players have funneled their way through this Indian Bowl over the years. At halftime, we'll be talking about some of those guys that are named to the All-Indian Bowl team as derived by Muskogee Phoenix sports editor Mike Kays and fans and some of us in the media, you and I and others that kind of comprise the committee to talk about that. There's been just so many excellent players that have been through here, and I think we'll have one of those guys at halftime with us to talk a little bit about it.
We will indeed. And as I hear the Pride playing the school fight song, I just, in my mind, kind of try to figure out how many thousands and thousands of times has this song been heard inside this facility, signifying a Ruffers success story.
It really is. As they play the song, and for one of the last few times they'll play it here at the Indian Bowl, a lot of memories here for you and I and everyone else who's followed Ruffer football over the years. And you talk about the old stadiums having their charm, and Indian Bowl's one of those, but it's kind of outgrown its usefulness to some extent. And so it's kind of out with the old and in with the new next year.
I'm looking forward to the new facility out next door to the high school. Of course, that will be ready for the 2022 campaign. But more importantly, the tradition of this stadium, more important than that is what the Ruffers will have as their final signature of the 2021 campaign. Looking for a third win in district play, their third victory on the season, and their first at home here in 2021, stopping a 7-game losing streak here inside Indian Bowl.
Now, that's really unusual. You think about that, but they've lost all of their home games this year and 2 or 3 from last year, and so the Ruffers trying to get themselves back on the winning streak here at home and really go out on a high note. As we talked about in pregame, I think a win here would really set the stage for just a lot of things for the future.
It's really nice, too, on this final night here at Indian Bowl to see, as game night, the company that is masterminding the construction of all the redistricting, reformation of buildings around the district, the new AR 8th and 9th grade center right behind us, just across the way, the new building, Tony Getz Elementary School, and then Manhattan Construction is the general contractor, the master contractor for all of the building process inside that $100 million school bond issue that the patrons of Muskogee supported with a 70% success rate.
And also some refurbishing at some of the elementary schools like Grant Foreman and some of the others, Irving, that have really needed it. So a lot of stuff ongoing. Some of it's been completed, some of it's still in progress. And we're looking forward to that this next year, but looking forward to this game tonight to try and get the Ruffers going out, leaving Indian Bowl on a winning note.
Well, they'll have to bring their A game tonight, Nick, because the Wildcats of head coach Scott Harmon, who's in his 4th season, have something to play for because, like Muskogee, they want to erase some of the bad taste in their mouth in the last 2 weeks, having played the same opponent of Muskogee as in Tulsa, Washington, and Bixby, albeit on different nights. But the Wildcats would like to kind of set the stage for their future because they've got a lot of playmakers that, like Muskogee, are underclassmen.
Yes, that's the thing, is so young. We was senior night, of course, here at Indian Bowl, and just watch some of these guys come through here that have been such a big part of the football team the last 3 years. Some of the linemen, Devin Whitfield, James Moore, the center, who's been a stalwart in that line for all these years, and I know those guys would really want to go out on a big note tonight.
Well, certainly it'll be interesting to see how the Ruffers will match up, and I think it will be key to see if the Ruffers are able to win the coin toss. They will take the football because Chris Reisenhuber wants to put his offense to work from the very beginning. And like Travis said in our pregame countdown to kickoff visit, start fast, score on our first possession, put points on the board the very first time we put the football in our hands, and then make the opponent play catch-up rather than having to climb out of a hole.
That's exactly right, and I think the Ruffers against this team have a good chance to do that. If they win the toss, get the ball first, I think they got a good chance of being able to get out and move the ball down the field. Although the Ponca City defense, they've been trumped a couple of times, but they're only giving up about 24 points a game. So in the closer games, they have been kind of stingy on defense.
Well, they forced 19 turnovers on the season. That's given them a +6 team-wise in turnover ratio, but they've held 4 opponents to 7 points or less. And, Nick, like you were saying, just 24 points a ball game, and that includes some of those lopsided scores like last week, 66-13, 2 weeks to Bixby, 2 weeks ago, 41-10, and then a 36-0 shutout to Choctaw. But this is a ball club that creates some problems defensively for Muskogee because of their, what Chris Reisenhuber just described, cover 2 formation. They kind of throw an umbrella on the back end with 5 guys back there and kind of take away some of your angles. So it'll be interesting to see how the Muskogee offense will perform tonight here against the red, white, and blue of Ponca City.
I think the Ruffers, one thing they need to do right off the bat, really trying to establish that running game, get Brandon Tolbert, maybe Gibbons going a little bit, because if they can do that, that might free up some of that coverage for Ficklin to pass the ball.
Well, it certainly does help to have Braden Henry back in that offensive lineup. Wesley Harvey will start at one tackle. Henry, a sophomore, will start at the other. Devin Whitfield and Jay Scarrett will be the guards. And Big James Moore, who was our player guest a week ago, he will be the starting center. The Birdman, Jamarian Ficklin, will get his 10th consecutive start. The freshman, 133 of 234 through the year, 2,025 yards. That's a lot of yards. I don't care what grade you are.
He is, and he's done well, and particularly given the kind of defenses and opposition that the Ruffers have faced so far this year. You had the 3 Arkansas teams, plus you got Bixby and Choctaw and Washington in our district, and so it's been kind of an uphill battle, but you've seen the freshmen really kind of come along as the year has gone by and really established a lot more confidence than we saw in the early going.
Well, with what Ponca City likes to do when they have the football, Nick, it's old school. It's not RPO. It's not spread you out wide. It's put everything double tight in and run the ball right at you. That's going to put pressure on the Muskogee defense that we've seen at times, Nick, have trouble making stops against a good running game.
Well, they'll have their hands full with the quarterback, Tay Moore of Ponca City, kind of a dual threat. He's carried for 338 yards. He's carried the ball almost as many times as their running back, Blake Bristow. And so he's a dual threat, and they will like to run the ball a little more than they will throw, trying to get their running game going.
Our captains are meeting out at the center of the field. Referee tonight is
Ronald Snoddy.
Ronald Snoddy. Coin toss in the air. And it appears Muskogee has won the toss. So I'm sure Jaden Bell quickly said, Mr. Referee, we want the football. Ponca City will kick and defend the north goal. Ruffers will receive and defend the south goal. And we're just about ready for the start of tonight's ball game. It is the final time, Nick, for Ruffer football here at Indian Bowl. 83 seasons. Now, you got to add another 13 on top of that because, as Mike Kay is doing all of his research from Muskogee Phoenix would agree, 13 seasons for Manual Training High School since that 1939 came. They'd actually started kind of in the mid-50s, late mid-50s, when Manual Training began playing here after moving from Athletic Stadium, which is now where the Civic Center is downtown. So 96 years of, or 96 different football seasons, including this year. There have been a lot of great athletes that have crossed this playing field. What used to be a high-mounded grass surface that when you stood on one side to the other, you could barely see the tops of the other side's players' helmets. But then once they brought in the field turf, it became a much more homey situation.
We talked a little bit about the All-Indian Bowl team, and you mentioned when they started, and there were a lot of great players that played for Muskogee that were pre-Indian Bowl, and so did not qualify to be on the team, but some great names there as well. And so we'll talk about all that at halftime a little
Mike Kays and you had a nice chat, and we'll hear from the sports editor of the Muskogee Ruffers at halftime, along with one of the gentlemen that was named to the All-Phoenix team. We'll keep his name in suspense for right now because we're just about ready for the opening kick as the Wildcats' Caden Anderson will put it on the tee. The Ruffers will have back Kennedy McGee along with Jaden Bell. And I've just got a feeling that if McGee can get it and get a crease, Nick, this might be the time that the senior has a special moment on his senior night.
Yeah, we'll see if they kick it to him or whether they'll play it safe and kick it short here.
Of course, we also saw Anderson in the pregame warm-ups able to put the ball in the end zone from his warm-up kick. So ready to go for the final time, the opening kick from Indian Bowl. Bill Huddleston, Nick Hampton, and our Ruffer TV crew, Ponca City Wildcats and the Muskogee Ruffers, each looking for their third victory here in conference play. 53 degrees at kickoff as Anderson will approach it. He'll kick it high and deep. McGee will field it at the 15-yard line, up the middle, 20-25, through a hole at the 30, met at about the 36-yard line and wrapped up at that spot. So McGee brings it out first and 10 to the 36-yard line. That's where Muskogee will start its first offensive series, moving from our right to left or from south to north. Ruffers in the all-green uniforms, big white numerals on their back. Ponca City in all white with the blue numerals trimmed in red.
See what the Ruffers want to do is try and get that running game going early here.
Gibbons will be in a slot to the left. Bell out on the numbers to the far side. They'll hand it off inside to Talbert, bouncing off a tackle, trying to get out on the edge. And up the far sideline, right in front of the Ponca City bench. Talbert able to scamper upfield for about a 5-yard gain out to the 41-yard line.
Pretty good move by Tolbert. He was kind of pinned in out there initially, but put on a little burst of speed just as he got to the corner and accelerated for 5.
Talbert came in with 70 carries on the season for 406 yards. Had a pretty nice game a week ago, Nick, albeit the 2 turnovers on loose balls. Now Bell by himself wide to the left. They bring motion. Hand it off to Gibbons, gets a blocker in front, turns the corner, 50, checks his direction at the 45, spins at the 40, still on his feet and all the way into Ponca City territory, downfield to the 33-yard line goes Isaiah Gibbons.
26 yards on the carry, and the Ruffers now into Ponca territory.
So down to the 33-yard line, good enough for a J. Hodge, Chevrolet, Muskogee Ruffer first down and 10.
Good blocking out front that time, as Gibbons on the sweep had blockers out in front of him. Good yardage.
So now the Ruffers will put twin receivers to the wide side right, bring Bell in motion. They'll counter, hand it off in traffic, coming back to the short side. And that time there was upfield penetration by one of the defenders for Ponca City. As getting there quickly that time was Elijah Phillips, the returning senior linebacker. 52 stops on the season. Stops that for a loss of 2, back upfield to the 35-yard line.
That one never really had much of a chance of getting going. The timing was off just a little bit, and by the time Tolbert tried to find a hole, Ponca City plugged it pretty easily.
This time McGee and Watson will be wide to the right. Bird back in the pocket, left-handed sophomore going to throw upfield in space, and this one's picked off. Now that pass was just off target, and there to make the interception is Devin Zimmershed. Defensive back coming up with another INT. That's the 13th intercepted pass for this Wildcat defense, and for Jamarian Ficklin, on the year, that'll be his 13th pass interception.
He had 3 last week, had a couple the week before, so kind of on a downward trend there. And that pass was kind of thrown behind the intended receiver, and Shimmerfeed was there to make an easy grab.
So at the 30-yard line, 10:44 to go here in the opening quarter of action. Ponca City with the football. Double tight end set, single running back. Handoff goes to Blake Bristow, cutting off to his left side, and the Ruffers stuffed that one actually at the line of scrimmage or upfield for a loss. Back up inside the 30 down to about the 27-yard line. Good effort that time by the Ruffer green-clad defense.
Nothing there for Bristow as he tried to get outside, and the Ruffers strung the play out extremely well, and the linebackers filled and made the quick tackle.
So now second and what will be 13 yards, or actually 12, as they marked the ball ready to go from the 29. So second and 12. Wildcats will put a wide receiver in a slot to the right side. Again, the one running back off the left shoulder of the sophomore quarterback, Taymor. Claps his hands, rolls to his right, looks to throw back left on a little jailbreak screen. Out in flat, caught by Tabron Stanton. He's up to about the 30, maybe the 31-yard line before he's ushered out of bounds. But again, good coverage out on the far boundary by the Ruffer defense.
Tabron Stanton, the fullback, they don't throw to him very much. Really didn't have many stats coming in. That's one of his first receptions on the year. That was kind of a high floater, but they get 4 yards out of it and get back basically to the original line of scrimmage.
So the football will be resting right on the 30-yard line. 9:53, the clock stopped as the player went out of bounds. 3rd down and 10. No score here early on. Scoreboard update brought to you by Kyle Edwards Buick GMC. So 3rd and a long 9, short 10, whichever way you want to call it. This time it'll be receivers wide as slots to the left and right. More back in the pocket. Time to throw. Wants to stretch the field. Looking to go downfield. Intended for Aiden Krieger. He makes the catch in front of the defensive coverage of the Ruffers as Jaron Riggs-Brown was matched up one-on-one with Krieger, and who comes down with the football for the 1st and 10 at the 39-yard line in Ruffer territory.
Wow, that was and he was well covered by Riggs-Brown, but he managed to turn around the pass a little bit short, and he got down and got it 31 yards on the pass play and a 1st down.
At the Muskogee 39-yard line. Moore sprinting back onto the field with the play from the sideline. Scott Harmon, the head coach of the Wildcats in his 4th season. He led Hominy to a state title back in 2016. Now has his sophomore quarterback. Going to be a little quarterback keeper straight up the middle with a blocker in front. And Moore able to run straight ahead downfield from the 39 to what will be marked at the 34. That's a pickup of 5. That's just a designated run play all the way, Nick, and the sophomore running back has got some pretty good scat.
He does, and he gets along fairly well with the ball, gets down the field. As we said, he's a kind of a dual threat, can run the ball. He's run over 100 carries so far this year.
This offensive line weighs in at 265 pounds per man. Got some big fellas up front, including Cason Bradley, a 2-year starter, 6'5", 310. Blocking back off the right side, that's Stanton. He'll move across. Moore will read the play, get out on the edge, turn the corner, and he's going to be close, if not has the first down downfield of the 28-yard line. Ruffers had a shot at him back at about the 33, but just could not wrap up. And with the spin move by Moore, he's able to go to the 28-yard line, good enough for a 1st and 10 on a 6-yard pickup.
Riggs Brown was there trying to close in from the corner, and he just kind of overran the play a little bit and lunged at him, but couldn't bring him down.
Bill Huddleston, Nick Hampton, and our Ruffer TV crew tonight from Indian Bowl. 1st down and 10 for the Wildcats. Stanton this time will be in a slot wide to the left side. Coming to the right will be Luke Payne out on the numbers. Moore takes the numbers, high snap, sets up in the pocket. Now arches his back, wants to throw deep, has a receiver out there. Ruffers are out defending this one well. Thrown to Lane Sholey. And pretty good coverage that time by the Ruffers defensive back, Chris Gaines. Incomplete pass.
And Gaines was all over him. Good coverage that time, and he went up and just knocked the ball away for an incompletion.
So 2nd down and 10 for Ponca City. 8:01 to go here in the first quarter. Still no score. Ruffers at home against the Ponca City Wildcats. Altogether, this is the 20th meeting between the two squads. 12-6 with one tie in favor of Muskogee. 2nd and 10 from the 28. Moore, this time going to again call his own number. Bounce off the block out on the edge at the 25. Duck his shoulder and run into a Ruffer defender. And stepping out of bounds at about the 19-yard line. Maybe about a yard short of the line to gain there, Dick. But, again, just an aggressive move by the sophomore quarterback who came in on the season with 112 carries for 338 yards.
Now they do give him the first down at the 18. So
a 10-yard pickup.
Yep.
So 1st and 10 Wildcats, their third in this series. That started back at their 30-yard line.
Moore's carried 3 times so far in this series, 21 yards.
Pioneer Abstract, Bravado Wireless, along with Northeast Oklahoma Health Systems, bring you Ruffer football. Now Bristow as the single setback. As they work out of the gun, hand it off to Bristow, trying to find a crease, finds one, spins downfield inside the 15, and falls to the turf at the 12. Just good execution up front, Nick. This is nothing fancy. It is just power football, and that offensive line right now is winning the war.
They are big. They are winning it up front against the Ruffers, opening up the holes. Moore just kind of doing it by himself down the line and then finding a little gap to cut into. That time Bristow just going right up the middle, and the line moved out the Ruffer defensive front.
2nd down and 4 after the 6-yard pickup. Stacked receivers to the right side as Moore works out of the shotgun. Hands off again to Bristow, going to try to bounce the corner. A good, nice shoestring tackle that time by the Ruffer defender, able to get in and make the stop. As for Muskogee,
Newton Walker.
Well, it's Walker Newton.
Or Walker Newton, sorry.
Gain goes downfield to the 7-yard line, where that's good enough for another first down. 1st and goal to go for Ponca City. 8 play in this drive. 6:54 to go here in the opening quarter. No score, but Ponca City on a 1st and goal situation.
One long pass play. The rest of it's been on the ground for the Wildcats.
So now Aiden Krieger will line up in a wide side slot to the left side. A 2-tight formation. Moore's going to keep it. Follows those big hogs up front, but this time the Ruffers had more than enough defense there. LaShawn Mann's one of the big heavies for the Ruffers in the goal line defense. Chris Gaines coming up quickly as well to stop that one after a pickup of about 3 to the 4-yard line.
Looked like they were going to get him early. The timing of the play is Moore took a lot of time trying to find a way to run, somewhere to go, and finally did find just a little bit of a crease to get 3, but it didn't look like he was going to get that to start with.
Our final game of the 2021 campaign. Ponca City trying to take their first series after a pass interception and put points on the board. Bristow off the right shoulder of Moore. Quarterback takes it, a little lead. Going to pitch it out on the edge. Ruffers can't get in there. Oh, there's a big-time hole, but there's no penalty. There comes the flag, as Bristow will go into the end zone for the touchdown. But it was pretty apparent, Nick, even to my blind eyes, to see the offensive lineman reach out and grab hold, if not of the jersey, certainly of the headgear. And the penalty is going to be against Ponca City.
Had a lot of hold on that. And he had a lot of blockers out in front of him. That's one of those that's kind of an unnecessary penalty.
We had holding on the offense, 10 yards from the spot of the foul. We played it down.
One thing good about coming home, Nick, we can now hear the field mic of the official on the play. Markoff will be back upfield from the original line of scrimmage, which was the 4, so it'll be back out to the 14-yard line. Replay second down. 5:49 to go, opening quarter. Rougher football tonight brought to you by Lesher Millsap Funeral Home, by Nissan of Muskogee, by Serpro, and by Red Dirt Production Services.
So we'll see. You got to keep in mind here, too, that from what we saw, at least in the pregame, they're well within field goal range of their fine kicker Anderson, who has a big foot.
Blake Bristow will line up directly behind Taymor. Sophomore will put Stanton in motion to the left side. They're going to run him out in the flat, look to throw deep across the middle, open wide end, sliding catch in the end zone, caught by Brett Haney. Touchdown, Wildcats. Just ran the coverage off, Nick, and the little tight end just creeps by himself into the end zone. And Haney on a sliding catch has his third touchdown reception of the season. Wildcats go 70 yards for the game's first points.
Well, a nice drive as they did most of it on the ground. They had a 31-yard pass play, and otherwise it was just Moore and Bristow.
Caden Anderson on to try to make it a 7-0 ball game. Good snap, ball down, a strong kick that is up, and it is good, and there's timeout on the field. 5:25 left to go, opening quarter. Ponca City, after a pass interception, marches the length of the field for a go-ahead score. 7-0 Wildcats leading the Ruffers. We're back after this 30-second timeout. This is Ruffer Football 2021.
In times of need, it's comforting to see faces of people you know and trust. Cornerstone Funeral Home in Muskogee cherishes the opportunity to be there for you and your family in life's most challenging times when friends are most important. Cornerstone Funeral Home and Crematory welcomes the opportunity to answer any questions regarding planning and pre-arrangements for you and your loved ones. Experience the difference. Cornerstone Funeral Home, 1830 North York in Muskogee, where you'll find faces you know and reputations you trust.
Back at Indian Bowl, Bill Huddleston, Nick Hampton, after a pass interception by Zimmershed, Ponca City marches 70 yards for the go-ahead score. A 9-play drive, the scoring toss, 14-yard pass reception from Taymor to the tight end, Brett Haney, and the Wildcats have the 7-0 lead. Here's the ensuing kickoff. Ruffers will bobble it loose on the turf, but on a good bounce, pick it up. Straight up the middle on the return comes the Ruffers out across the 35 and up to about the 40-yard line. And the ball was fumbled. Ruffers say we've got it, but the official's pointing the other way.
Fumble on the play, recovered by the Wildcats.
Ponca City comes up with the loose ball, Nick, on the kick return, so the ball will go over right back to the defense.
Wow,
the Ruffers charge will be a big challenge here.
Looks like a rerun of last week so far for the Ruffer offense, where they turned the ball over 6 times last week against Washington.
Jalen Lockpour on that kick return lost the ball on the recovery at the 42-yard line. So PC will get it right back. Wildcats trying to capitalize on the second Ruffer turnover. They'll go right back to work with this power running game. Taymor out of the shotgun, going to take the snap, set up in the pocket, going to try to stretch the field, this time as a receiver open, but had an inside step on the Ruffer defender. That's Lane Sholey, the senior wideout for the Wildcats. Incomplete pass brings up second down and 10. Tried to just do something big, Nick, after getting that heartbreaking fumble recovery against the Ruffers.
Yeah, that's kind of a break in pattern. They've been running first down pretty much all the first series, and now they try to throw and get the home run here, so to speak, on first down and miss it. So now kind of behind the chains a little bit.
2 slots to come to the wide side right as Moore will go twins to the left side. Back in the pocket, little wheel route out in space, overthrows his intended target. Ruffer's going to scoop it up. Are they going to say it's a forward pass or a lateral?
They say incomplete.
Okay, the side judge over here on the side indicating incomplete. So the pass intended for Blake Bristow overthrown by the sophomore. Nick, that had all kinds of potential if it's on target. Because Moore had white shirts downfield ready to lead the way.
This is where the Ruffers want them to be, 3rd down and long. Moore 49 of 114, so not even quite a 50% passer on the year.
And only averaging 56 yards per ball game, and he's got pretty much that already. Stanton now will set up in a tight end to the far left. Ruffers are going to spend a timeout because they don't have the right defensive call set up with 5:07 to go here in quarter number 1. Ponca City on 3rd and 10 will have it when we return, leading the Ruffers by a score of 7-0. Back in 30 seconds, this is Ruffer Football 2021.
Chevrolet Muskogee. No tricks. I hope we get this right. Oklahoma, it's treats for trade-ins, and we need trade-ins. Come get a trade-in bonus up to $1,500 when you buy your new Chevy. No tricks. Get an appraisal at the dealership or at your home. Treats for trade-ins up to $1,500 extra. No tricks. J. Hodge Chevrolet Muskogee, 144 West Shawnee.
Bill Huddleston, Nick Hampton back with you from Indian Bowl, Muskogee Ruffers and Ponca City Wildcats. The visitors already with 1 turnover turned into a touchdown. Now after a fumble recovery on the kickoff by the Muskogee, Ponca City at 2 incomplete passes faces 3rd down and 10. Tay Moore out of the shotgun. Play action series. Drop back. Looks to throw. In space. Upfield. Catch is made at the 30-yard line. Knew exactly where to go. That was Aiden Krieger. Same guy, Nick, that was open earlier on a big pass play, and that one goes good enough for a 1st and 10.
He was wide open, too, on that down-and-out pattern. No one came up to get him, and he gets down 12 yards from 42 down to the 30 and a 1st down.
Ruffer Football this season brought to you in part by Mike Finnerty, attorney at law, by Runs Barbecue, James Hodge Ford, and by Pioneer Abstract. Wildcats 1st and 10 from the Muskogee 30-yard line. Ball resting on the right hash mark. Bristow to the right shoulder of Tay Moore. Quarterback draw play straight ahead. Finds a crease in that front line blocking that just keeps pushing the Ruffer defenders back upfield. Impressive effort that time by the guys up in the trench. Triton Boyer, 5'11", 250-pound junior. Caleb Settle, a 5'10", 260-pound senior, a 2-year starter. On the same side, Kason Bradley, 6'5", 310, a 2-year starter, a senior. Alex Hodges and Scotty Simpson on the other side. It's an all, 4 out of 5 seniors up front.
7 yards they got on that, and that experience up front showing here against the Ruffer defense.
Now with a blocking back, or the old terminology, a sniffer back. That's Stanton moving across the formation. Moore will read it, pull it, keep it inside the 20, dancing out on the edge, out of a tackle, sprinting out to the corner inside the 15. He'll be shuffled out of bounds at about the 10-yard line.
Number 4.
Just good read option by the quarterback.
DeAndre Johns helps him out of bounds on the far side, but not before he gets it down to the 11 for another 12-yard pickup.
1st down and 10, Wildcats, 3:48 to play. Not the game the Ruffers wanted to play with PC. They wanted to speed up the pace because the Wildcats are content just to grind it out. Ponca City this time with a split into the left. Krieger in a slot to the right. Handoff goes to Bristow, waits for the block up front at the 10, the 5, and he'll scamper untouched into the end zone. Touchdown.
Touchdown, Ponca City.
42-yard drive that takes only 6 plays after the fumble recovery on the kickoff. And Ponca City, Nick, here on senior night, is spoiling the party of the Ruffers with 2 quick first-quarter scores.
Well, you got to be a little distressed if you're a Ruffer fan here after the Ruffers turn it over on their first 2 possessions, and Ponca City makes them pay.
So now Anderson will try to make it a 14-0 ball game. The ball down, the kick is up, and it is good. Timeout with 3:43 to play in the opening 12 tonight from Indian Bowl. Ponca City 14, Muskogee 0. We're back in 30 seconds on Ruffer Football 2021.
When you come home after a long day, Bravado Wireless Home Internet has you covered in your neighborhood or on your farm. For a limited time, our unlimited home internet has been discounted to only $49 per month with the purchase of a $99 router. And get this, the first 3 months of service is on us. So what are you waiting for? Make the switch today and visit us at bravadowireless.com for more info and to find a store near you. We are Bravado Wireless, and we believe in the power of connection.
Back on Ruffer TV, Bill Huddleston, Nick Hampton, and the Ruffer TV crew. Ruffers have been their own worst enemy with 2 quick turnovers, and Ponca City has capitalized on both opportunities now with a 14-0 advantage. Anderson this time with a high short kick that Jaden Bell will catch on a run at the 25. The 30 bounce out to the edge, out of one tackle, and jukes another, still trying to find some room to dance and take what you can get and stop there, JB.
Ends up going backwards a little bit after he got up close to the 35 and retreats a couple of yards and ends up at the 32.
So it'll be first and 10 for the Ruffers, their third offensive series, or what would be their third, because they fumbled away the second chopper chance. Wildcats on 2 possessions off turnovers have built a 14-0 first quarter lead. 3:34. The clock will start on the snap of the football. Isaiah Gibbons and Jaden Bell, along with Anthony Watson, a trio of receivers to the wide side left. Jamarian Ficklin out of the gun, handing it off to Talbert. He fumbles the football again. It's loose on the turf, and I don't know if the Ruffers got on top of this one.
I don't think they did. Ponca City was there
if
first.
If the Ruffers got it, they're very fortunate.
Yeah, I guess they did.
It appears that one of the offensive linemen for Muskogee was able to see the bounding football. That was Braden Henry that got the much-needed fumble recovery back up at the 29-yard line, so a loss of 4 on first down. Who greased the pig?
Wow, and you're right. The Ruffers very fortunate to get there because Ponca City had white shirts there ready to pounce on it, but somehow it got away.
Talbert this time to the left of Ficklin out of the gun. Trips come wide left. Bird will roll to his left, throw back underneath, caught by Watson, trying to find a crease up the middle. 30, out to the 35, out of a tackle, still on his feet, leading a block at the 40, and he'll lunge forward to about the 41-yard line, but the sideline official will say that Watson stepped out of bounds at the 40. From the 29 to the 40, that's an 11-yard pickup, but give Anthony Watson credit for making most of that, Nick, on his own redirection.
He really did, as he was hit, broke through at least 2 tackles at around the 35 and spun out to the outside and got another 4 or 5 yards out of it.
So now a big third down situation for Muskogee. Their first true third down opportunity of the night. Bell, along with Gibbons, are to the left side. Talbert off the left shoulder of Ficklin. Bird this time a little option pitch. Out to Talbert, makes the catch, dives to the first down, and with second effort might have exploded far enough to get past the 43 up to the 44. Good enough for a J-Hod Chevrolet. Ruffer first down and 10.
Again, great second effort that time by Tolbert as he was stopped short, but as he was going down, he lunged forwards and gets it up to the 45, let's call it, for a 5-yard pickup.
So Muskogee moving from its own end of the field, trailing by 2 scores as the clock goes under 2 minutes to play here in the first 12 minutes of action. Now we have a referee's whistle sound. And I think there may be a player for Ponca City that's going to have to be replaced in the lineup for unknown reason. That's Grant Harmon. Harmon, of course, Grant is the son of the head coach, Scott Harmon, who a couple of years ago, Nick, when we saw this ball club, was a quarterback but sustained a shoulder injury and has converted to a very effective defensive back for Ponca City. First and 10 from the 45, play action series. Throw it underneath the bell, trying to find a crease, and there's just an umbrella of coverage. And that's exactly what Chris Reisenhuber was talking about, Nick, when we drew it up, plays in the locker room yesterday. Just that umbrella coverage just does not leave you many opportunities. Gain of 2 from the 47 to the 45 on the first down completion.
Yeah, you didn't get much there, and they swarmed quickly and didn't let Bell get out of the coverage, umbrella, so to speak, as you said, and they just collapsed on him.
So second down and 8. Jaden Bell this time will be wide to the left with Gibbons in the slot, same side. Caden McGee up top. They bring Gibbons in motion. Play action. Bird's going to try to stretch the field looking for Bell. Up high, pinpoints his jump and has the catch. The defensive backs were trying to point to the turf that Bell lost it going to the field, but it was after he went to the ground. Great catch that time by the junior wideout, Jaden Bell. 22-yard pass reception. Another J. Hodge, Muskogee Ruffer, first down and 10. J. Hodge, Chevrolet.
That's what the Ruffers needed. Get some confidence there. Nice grab by Bell as he went high to snare that.
At the 26-yard line in Ponca City territory. This time trips wide to the left. Bird in the pocket, scrambles, throws upfield, has Bell behind the receiver, makes the catch over his shoulder. Did he hold on to it? Touchdown! 22-yard touchdown pass, Jamarian Ficklin to Jaden Bell. Touchdown, Muskogee. Touchdown, James Hodge, 4.
Great, and Bell was wide open back there. Well thrown ball by Ficklin, right on the money for the touchdown.
Just ran past the defender, Nick, and I'm thinking that might be the same corner that was replaced just a moment ago. But on the play, the 26-yard touchdown toss from Ficklin to Bell cuts the margin in half. That is if Skylar Onebear, the senior place kicker, who was our guest in our pregame countdown and kickoff, get to know the Ruffers, will be on to try the PAT. Onebear is 24 of 27, make it 25 of 28. The kick is good. 48 seconds left, opening 12 minutes. Ponca City leads Muskogee 14-7. We're back in 30 seconds on Ruffer Football 2021.
Pioneer Abstract, proudly serving residential and commercial customers throughout Muskogee County since 1905. Serving banks, mortgage companies, and mortgage brokers with refinancing, purchase, 1031 tax-deferred exchanges, along with full escrow services and more. Pioneer Abstract offers the convenience of centralized services for escrow accounts, title insurance, and title searches. Pioneer Abstract, here yesterday, here today, and here tomorrow at 412 West Broadway in downtown Muskogee, or call Pioneer Abstract at 683-2904.
Well, after gift wrapping 2 early scoring chances for Ponca City, which the visiting Cats capitalized on, Muskogee Ruffers come right back, going 67 yards. A 27-yard pass to Jaden Bell to set it up first down at the 26, and then Bird went right back to Bell, and the Ruffers tally on a 26-yard scoring toss and cut the margin to 14-7.
That was certainly a nice effort by the Ruffers and really kind of a confidence booster to kind of get the momentum back going their way now a little bit.
Well, certainly needed a change of direction for sure. A little punch kick that's loose on the turf, bounding, but then recovered by one of the Wildcats as the good hands people. Carson Williams, a senior. I'm sure he's been in that situation multiple times. And the ball will be placed at the 40-yard line. 47 seconds left to go here in the opening quarter. Ruffers with a score have cut the margin in half on the deficit scoreboard, 14-7 Wildcats.
Kind of halfway between an onside kick and a pooch kick. They get the Wildcats in pretty good field position right at the 40.
Last play for the Ruffers went 67 yards in 6 plays. But the big play, of course, 22 to Bell to the 26, and then the very next play, the same combination for the 6-pointer. 47 seconds left to play here in quarter number 1. Official trying to get the 25-second play clock reset. He'll do so. Tay Moore handing off, giving it off to
Bristow.
Blake Bristow. He'll pop up across the 40 out to about the 43-yard line. Gain of 3 on first down. Then we'll have about one more snap here in the opening 12 minutes. Nick, you got an idea. This is going to be a very short, very fast-paced football game.
I would think so, and both teams like to move the ball. Ponca City kind of grinded out more of an offense. Ruffers kind of more of a lightning attack.
2 tight end formation. Bristow off the left shoulder of Moore. Claps his hands together, takes the snap, throws it out in space. Pass is caught as out on the boundary, making the grab as Gavin Cunningham, the sophomore wideout, gets about a yard, maybe 2, to the 45-yard line. And we've got an injury timeout across the way. So while they attend to the injured Ruffer and the first quarter clock has come to a close, let's take the break. We'll pause 60 seconds as after 1 quarter play tonight here at Indian Bowl, Ponca City 14, the Ruffers 7. We're back after this timeout of 60 seconds on Ruffer Football 2021.
We are what makes Oklahoma proud. We are mothers. We are coaches, counselors, and teachers. We are community. We are innovators in medical technologies. We are researchers developing breakthroughs to diagnose, treat, and cure diseases. We are everyday people. We are Northeastern Health Systems.
Having a good time is an American tradition, and at James Hodge, we're proud Americans. Now is the greatest time to get together, get out, and get away, no matter where the open road takes you. Your journey starts at James Hodge, an authentic part of Oklahoma for over 50 years. Get in a perfect ride at James Hodge Ford.
The James Hodge Ford Promise. The best selection, the absolute best price, and service guaranteed. James Hodge Ford, 1200 North Main, Muskogee, online at hodgeford.com.
We are what makes Oklahoma proud. We are mothers. We are coaches, counselors, and teachers. We are community. We are innovators in medical technologies. We are researchers developing breakthroughs to diagnose, treat, and cure diseases. We are everyday people. We are Northeastern Health Systems.
Back at India Bowl, Bill Huddleston, Nick Hampton, as the first quarter comes to a close on a pass reception across the field. Both players go down, Nick, and they're still tending to either one or two players from each team as the officials will move the football from one end to the other. Rougher football this season brought to you in part by Excel Physical Therapy. From setback to comeback, count on Excel Physical Therapy to keep you in the game. By ServPro of Muskogee, by Nissan of Muskogee, Lester Millsap Funeral Services, and by Bravado Wireless.
Big game in the district tonight as Booker T. Washington hosting Bixby in a battle for basically the district title, and in the second quarter, Bixby leads that game 14-0.
I can't say as I am
shocked,
too surprised.
No.
Ruffers player able to get up, but they're tending, looks like, to the elbow or to the arm of the Muskogee defender.
Other scores in 6A2, Choctaw leading Bartlesville 28-0. Sand Springs leading Putnam City West by a score of 14-0 in other games involving our district compatriots.
Leo Krajewski, who has had his plate full all year long. I think that's Keandre Johns, who is the injured player for the Ruffers. Remember, Keandre Johns had a high ankle sprain earlier, but this time he's holding that left elbow tightly to the shoulder. So now on 3rd and 5. Moore going to roll to his right, throw in space, has a receiver open at the 48 to midfield, into Ruffer territory to the 49-yard line. Nice throw and catch. Tay Moore going off to Lane Shiley, and the PC Wildcats convert the second of 3 third down chances tonight and have another first down.
Gets 6 on it, just what he needed, plus a yard change, and Ponca City just continues to kind of grind their way down the field.
Went right back to that same spot where Keandre Johns came out at cornerback. So now the Ruffers will have another player in the handoff on first down, giving it off to Blake Bristow. Slides his way between the first contact of the line of scrimmage and downfield to about the 44, getting 5 on the play.
Tell you what, Ponca City just grinding it out on the ground. Their line doing a great job, and the Ruffers are going to have to find a way to stop them here. They've scored every time they've had the ball so far.
Tay Moore between every snap and the end of the play sprints over to the sideline to get the play call. Aiden Krieger will come wide to the left. Again, the two tight end formation, so double slot, one either side. Moore out of the shotgun. Claps his hands, hands it off. Up the gut goes the hard-running Blake Bristow. Bristow's forward progress is going to be downfield to about the 37-yard line. And the Wildcats have another first down and 10.
Bristow just kind of a fearless runner. He's only 5'6", 160, but he fears no one, and he just went right up the middle that time and found good size hole.
7 yards for the Ponca City tailback, who, Nick, is a 2-year starter, has 3 games of 100 yards or more this season. He's got that wrestler's mentality, a very talented grappler for the Wildcats in the wrestling season. Now, quick handoff. Again, Bristow sliding between tacklers inside the 30 and down to about the 27-yard line before the Ruffers can take him to the ground. But again, that's all being made possible because what the offensive line is doing, forcing all the play to have to be on the linebackers who are being contacted by those guys downfield. 10-yard pickup, 1st and 10.
Tell you what, I'm impressed with Bristow for no bigger than he is. He really has good speed and gets through the holes. And I got to tell you, the Ruffer defensive line just getting pushed around so far tonight by Ponca City.
Gavin Cunningham will be a slot to the right side. Aiden Krieger will be wide to the left. Bristow this time to the left of Tay Moore. They'll go right back and bounce out on the edge, 25, powering as well, using that lower leg strength. Kind of that rest of it is able to stand up his opponent and just drive him off the mat, and that time it is Bristow all the way to the 18, Nick. That's about a 9-yard pickup.
9 more yards. Bristow now 9 carries, 53 yards in the game.
And all the while, the clock continues to run. Now, this time, Bristow went out of bounds, stopping it at the 9:48 mark. This will be the 8th snap in this drive that began with under a minute to go in the first quarter. Bristow doing all the damage on the ground. 1st and 10, Wildcats from the rougher, or 2nd and 1. This time Bristow again with a blocker in front, breaks out of 1 tackle, 2, and goes untouched into the end zone.
Touchdown, Wildcats.
Big run by Blake Bristow. Just came out on the edge and got the seal block and then split 2 would-be tacklers and goes into the end zone from 18 yards out, and the Wildcats have their 3rd score here in the first half.
Ruffers just don't have an answer to this Ponca City running game so far. Bristow just pretty much once he got past the linebackers was untouched.
Gavin Anderson or Caden Anderson will come on to try to add the extra point. Low snap, it's bobbled, picked up on the fire play. The ball thrown up in the air, and is it caught? No, it's ruled incomplete, but a heads-up effort that time by the holder for the Wildcats, Tyson Dewberry. But the failed PAT leaves the score a baker's dozen difference, 20-7 in front of the visitors. Ponca City over the Muskogee Ruffers. Back with more on Ruffer Football 2021 after this 30-second timeout.
In sports, having the right winning strategy is often the difference between winning and losing. The same is true when you need legal representation. For more than 15 years, the law offices of Michael E. Finnerty have successfully provided the winning strategy with excellence and integrity for the people of the Muskogee area in matters of personal injury, Social Security disability, and workers' compensation issues. The law office Muskogee trusts Michael A. Finnerty, ready to develop a winning strategy. Michael A. Finnerty, 436 Court Street in Muskogee. Call 687-1155. Online at finnertylaw.com.
Bill Huddleston, Nick Hampton, Indian Bowl. Senior night for the Muskogee Ruffers, and right now the damage is being done by the Wildcats. Here's the ensuing kick. It'll be fielded on a bounce. That's a loose ball. Kennedy McGee going to retreat back to his 10, try to weave his way through tacklers. Has a wall now, 20-25 across the 30. Stiff arms one would-be tackler and gets to the 34-yard line. And Nick, Kennedy McGee made something out of absolutely nothing.
He did a nice job there because they had him pinned back at around the 10 or 15 and found a little hole. But again, kind of a miscue by the special teams, so they let that ball get away to begin with.
That last drive by Ponca City, 8 plays, 60 yards. Blake Bristow doing all the damage.
They have, between Moore and Bristow, they've got just a little over 100 yards rushing so far here in just over a quarter.
1st and 10 for the Ruffers here in the second quarter. Hand off, Tolbert straight ahead, runs into a couple of would-be Ponca tacklers. As the junior running back for Muskogee is able to get upfield before Gabe Rowland, another one of the wrestlers on this Ponca City football team, making the stop at the 39-yard line. Tolbert gets 4 on first down, 2nd and 6.
Tolbert, 4 carries, just 12 yards so far tonight, so Ponca's done a good job of containing him.
Ruffers this time will send Jaden Bell on an island out by himself in a slot to the left. Caden McGee and Isaiah Gibbons are to the right. Now bring motion, counter action, look to throw the wheel route for Bell. He can't take it. He was sneaking a peek at a linebacker coming across with a pretty good angle defensively. Colliver Lively was the guy that had zeroed in on the target of Jaden Bell, but the pass was too tall, incomplete. Second now will be 3rd down and 6.
Probably lucky that he didn't catch that ball because he would have had to go up to spear it, and he would have gotten drilled by that oncoming linebacker.
So the Ruffers will face a 3rd down. That last series, Nick, when they went the 67 yards, went to 3rd down only once. We'll see what happens here. Trips go wide left. Must reach the 45-yard line. Bird in the pocket. Protection there. Breaks down, but got a nice last-minute block pumps once, jukes one tackler, stays on his feet, but he'll have to eat it back upfield at the 32-yard line. Good pressure that time. Raiden Agee, the defensive end junior, another rustler for Ponca City, able to get in at the feet of Bird, take him down back upfield. That'll be a 7-yard loss, and the Ruffers will have to punt.
They had Gibbons open out in the far flat, but I don't think Ficklin saw him out there. He was wide open for a while and it got covered up right at the end, but he was open for a while.
That's that umbrella coverage that Chris Reisenhoover just detests. Now flags or officials stop the clock.
Hey, we have timeout, Ponca City.
Ponca City taking a timeout with 8:14 to play. We'll keep it here. Give us a chance to run to the 6A2 scoreboard. Sand Springs out in front early on Putnam City West, 14-0. Bixby, as you said, Nick, still holding to a 14-0 advantage. That's in the second quarter. Midwest City, no problems with Northwest Claxton, 48-zip. Deer Creek leading U.S. Grant 21-0. U.S. Grant will be part of the Ruffers' new district next year. Del City leading Lawton 62-35. Actually, Del City beat Lawton last night 62-35. And Choctaw shutting out Bartlesville in the first 28-0.
Locally in the battle for the Rock 4A, Fort Gibson leading Hilldale in the second quarter 18-7.
So now Skylar Onebear will be on to punt. Tyson Dewberry will be back deep, and a good high towering kick, fair catch signal for. And there was some contact by one of the men downfield, and I wasn't sure that the Ruffers weren't going to call for catch interference, but it may have been the fact that he was blocked into the cage. But nevertheless, the ball will rest at the 32-yard line. 8:03 to play here before halftime. Don't forget, coming up the half, Mike Hayes will talk with Nick Hampton about the all-time Indian Bowl best football players of all time. And they will follow that up with a special guest who I'm looking forward to seeing. We haven't seen about 3 or 4 years, Nick, but he's been making, well, in person.
Yeah.
We've been seeing this young man make some pretty good plays on Sunday. 8:03 to go before halftime. Ponca City will get it back with a 20-7 advantage. Starting from their own 32-yard line, moving from right to left. Tay Moore with Bristow, the running back, going to hand it off. He'll bounce off a block, get out on the edge. This time the Ruffers smother it out on the corner. One of the Ruffer defenders, Devin Whitfield, was out there trying to hold his ground, along with Deshaun Smith. No gain or maybe a yard pickup to the 33. Ruffers going to have to find a way, Nick, to corral Mr. Bristow, or it's going to be a long night that'll get by in a hurry.
They did a good job there, although Bristow almost broke it again from that outside, but one of the Ruffers managed to haul him down and keep him to a short gain. But, yeah, the Ruffers' defensive line is going to have to find some answers there because Ponca City's big, experienced front line's having their way right now.
Tion Brewer, LaShawn Mans, Devin Whitfield, that three-man front. Now the direct snap, and there's flags flying on the snap of the football, but a timeout was taken by
Ponca City.
Ponca City. That'll keep the clock at 7:18 to go before halftime. 20-7, Ponca City on top of the Ruffers. We're back in 30 seconds on this timeout on Ruffer Football 2021.
Pain is temporary, pride is forever. At Excel Therapy, we want to be your athlete's advocate for excellence. We offer treatment methods that focus on strengthening muscles and improving flexibility to improve your overall performance. And when injury sets in, Excel Therapy can aid in the recovery process. We know it's important to get back in the game, so trust the comeback experts, Excel Physical Therapy and Sports Medicine. With 16 locations and no physician referral required, you can begin healing today. From setback to comeback, the name you can trust, Excel Physical Therapy and Sports Medicine. Look for us online at exceltherapyok.com.
Out of the timeout, Ponca City will face 2nd and 9 now from its 33-yard line. Everybody bunched in tight. Hand the ball off. This is Bristow coming to his left out of one tackle, out of a second tackle, and powers his way up across the 35 to about the 41-yard line. That's an 8-yard gallop that time by the junior running back who came in with 670 yards on the season.
12 carries tonight for 80 yards for Bristow so far.
So it'll leave a 3rd and 1 situation for the Wildcats. Want to take a guess on who gets the football here, Nick?
Yeah.
Taymor again, going to hand it off to Bristow, giving some ground, turns the corner, has an effort, past the 45 into Ruffer territory across the 50. just got outside the containment of Devin Whitfield. And once he turned the corner, was able to scamper the edge and go all the way to the 46-yard line in Muskogee's end of the field. So from the 41 on one end to the 46 on the other, that's a 13-yard gallop, and more importantly, a 1st and 10 for the Cats.
Moore did a good job, too, of carrying out the fake on that as he faked like he still had the ball after the handoff and had several of the Ruffers crash in on him.
Ruffers trying to use a 4-man front here, Nick, in this defensive set. Tion Brewer will be on one edge and Whitfield on the other. Moore this time going to take the snap, throw upfield, and threw it a little bit high as he was trying to go back to Lane Sholey. For defensive back over there, Jaden Swanson. Of course, Swanson came in for the injured Keandre Johns. Not sure if Johns is still on the sidelines, Nick, or if they've taken him in for further evaluation.
Moore's, go ahead, I'm sorry.
Incomplete pass, 2nd and 10.
Moore 7 of 11 for 80 yards through the air, really kind of augmented their running game so far.
So now 2 wide receivers going to the far right. Moore with the blocking back in front. Going to hand it off again to Bristow. Broke 1 tackle, broke a second, and is able to turn something or nothing into something as he'll power his way inside the 45 down to about the 42, picking up 4 on what looked like was going to be stop for no gain.
Every play almost looks like that, Bill. Bristow gets out there, kind of hesitates for a moment, but somehow always manages to find a hole or turn on the jets and get around the corner. And like you say, get something out of nothing because it looked like the Ruffers had him stopped at the line of scrimmage.
Big 3rd down situation for Muskogee's defense. Would like to get the football back before halftime. 6 minutes and counting. 20-7, Wildcats up by 2 scores. Tay Moore, quarterback keeper all the way, waits for a blocker, but this time the Ruffers grab him around the waist. The ball came free on the play, but the play was ruled dead at the 40-yard line. Devin Whitfield, the senior defensive end for the Ruffers, in on the stop, and there's an injured player for the Cats down on the turf. We'll take the break and come back in a moment. 5:40 left to go before halftime. Ponca City will have 4th down when we return. The Wildcats leading the Ruffers 20-7. We're back after this 30-second timeout on Ruffer Football 2021.
Hi, welcome to Nissan of Muskogee.
Here in Muskogee, I mean, we're just 45 minutes from Tulsa, but us being family owned, I mean, like I said, the customers feel like family too.
What makes Nissan and Muskogee different? It's our people and a driving desire to surpass the expectations of our customers.
We care, and that's why they come to us.
Become a part of the family and let our people take care of you. Call 918-683-6605 or go to nissanandmuskogee.com.
Back to action here at Indian Bowl. The injured player for Ponca City, one of the offensive linemen, 2-year starter Caleb settled, but he's up on his own feet and walking off a little gingerly, but it's not, at least nice to see him able to get off the field under his own power. As play resumes, it'll be 4th down and about 5 yards needed for the Wildcats as they're going to mark that last carry by Tay Moore for a 1-yard gain. The Wildcats say, no, we're going to try to take advantage of some field position to count on our place kicker, Caden Anderson, to come on and try to punt, averaging 33 yards per kick on the year.
Now Bell belatedly getting back deep.
Play clock at 9 as the snap is back to Anderson. He puts a high, tight, spiraling kick. Ruffers just get out of the way of this one. It'll bound at about the 10 and then roll laterally to the 6-yard line, and that's where Muskogee will take over with 5:15 to play before halftime. But, Rick, the Ruffers able to stall out the running game that time of the Wildcats, but now face a very long field of play, looking to get a score before halftime and cut this 2-score disadvantage in half.
Well, the Wildcats did what they wanted to do right there. They got the high punt down and got a nice little roll and pinned the Ruffers back deep at their own end of the field. So now they'll try and put the defensive skids on the Ruffers and see if they can get the ball back one more time.
It's a 35-yard kick, but 1st and goal to go. Motion on the jet sweep, coming near side. Ruffers shake and bake this one across the 10, across the 15, still on his feet and up to about the 18-yard line as the Ruffers that time went real wide. And with the football that time, Nick, was Latavian Johnson. The gain goes all the way upfield to the 18-yard line, first down and 10.
So a nice run there as they got the ball out and got it out of the shadow of their own goalpost.
To the 18 after the 12-yard pickup. Ruffers this time will have Caden McGee and Anthony Watson to the boundary left side. Gibbons and Bell out far wide to the opposite side of the field. Bird in the pocket across the middle. Watson wide open. The pass is behind him. If he leads in front instead of behind, Watson is running for big-time play, but instead it's an incomplete forward pass.
That's one that Ficklen's going to want back because he had Anthony Watson wide open. And like you say, if he'd let him out there a little bit, Watson had lots of green in front of him, not many tacklers, but he couldn't reach back and grab it.
This formation, Ruffers will have three receivers to the left side. Caden McGee will be between Jaden Bell and Isaiah Gibbons. Twins are to the left boundary. Empty backfield for Bird. Back in the pocket. Throws up the crease. High. Caught by Caden McGee at the 35. Tackled immediately at the 39-yard line by Grant Harmon. But the toss is 20 yards on the completion. Actually 21. And another Jayhad Chevrolet Ruffer first down and 10.
Gives Ficklen now 87 yards passing on the night.
Nice sophomore with sure hands, 6 foot, 140 pounds. Caden McGee. Ruffers again will go twins left and right. Ficklen, little underneath pass again to McGee, trying to use a blocker, 45, near midfield before he's twisted and turned, and the ball came free on the tackle, but they're going to say the forward progress had been stopped on McGee when the tackle was made by the Ponca City defender. As getting there that time was Devin Zimmershed. The gain is 11 yards. It's good enough for another Jayhad Chevrolet Muskogee Ruffer first down and 10.
So the Ruffers now finding a little rhythm. Caden McGee with a couple of receptions. Comes out of the game momentarily for Muskogee.
He kind of got bent in half on that contact there by Zimmershed. Ruffers trailing 20-7. Scoreboard update brought to you by Kyle Edwards Buick GMC. This time Gibbons and Bell will go to the left side. Motion on the counter. Give it off to Talbert trying to get on the edge out of one tackle. Runs over another down the boundary. Tight ropes the painted sideline and drives downfield all the way to the 35-yard line. That's another big run for Brandon Talbert. 15 yards for another Jayhad Chevrolet Muskogee Ruffer first down at 10.
Now we're seeing a little more aggressiveness and fire out of the Muskogee offense. And, man, what a run by Talbert. He just ran over three people en route on that run.
First and 10 from the Wildcat 35. Bell and Gibbons will be to the left side. To the boundary left will be Kennedy McGee. Empty backfield for Jamarian Ficklen. Pressure comes right up his face. Underneath catch by Watson. 30, 25. Looking for a blocker at the 20. Out of a tackle to 15. Down the boundary at the 10. Inside the 10 to about the 7-yard line.
Nicely set up screen that time by the Ruffers as they let those oncoming linemen in, and then Ficklen just dumps it off to Watson, who had a lot of blockers out in front of him.
I think our old broadcast buddy, who you and I spent many nights with, Curtis Brackeen, would call that one a slip screen. First and goal to go from the Ruffer 7-yard line. Ruffers have gone from their own 6 quickly, now in 6 plays to the Ponca City 7. Talbert taking the handoff, looking to cut back, hit it about the line of scrimmage, and then is able to fall forward on a lunge down to the 4. He'll get 3. Clock showing 2:50 to go before halftime. A ball club that has been their own worst enemy so far tonight with 2 crucial turnovers, Nick, would like to score here.
Really would. And needed the momentum to get into the locker room.
Ruffers have second and goal to go from the 4-yard line in Ponca City territory. Gibbons and Bell will be the 2 receiver package to the wide side left. Caden McGee a slot on the boundary outside the numbers. Now Gibbons will flip over to that short side of the field. Talbert off the right hip of Ficklen. Snap is back to Bird. He's got it, and he's kind of in some trouble. Breaks one tackle, keeps on his feet, trying to use his leg strength, but he'll be stood up and shuffled out of bounds at about the 2. I think there was a little misdirection.
Play, yeah.
And then there's a late flag thrown on the play.
Yeah. Bird looked definitely surprised that he ended up with a football on that play.
Well, I think he was expecting Gibbons to come in motion as well. But let's see which way this penalty will be. But from the body language of the Ruffers, it appears it would be on Muskogee. Our official Ray Snoddy will tell us.
I think it's a personal foul, I think is what he said.
We have a dead ball, personal foul. on the offense.
Ooh, that
15
hurts.
yards from the spot of the 5.
That's tough because it goes from the 4-yard line. That'll take it all from the spot of the foul. Now we'll wait and see where they spotted the foul to be occurring.
And it was a dead ball, so remember now it'll be 3rd down for the Ruffers.
That'll come all the way out to the 22-yard line. So the gain was none, and then the walk-off from whatever happened on the field of play moves it all the way back out to the 22-yard line. So that's a huge loss for Muskogee because now it's 2nd and goal to go from here. Gibbons and Bell and Watson, a trio of receivers, are to the left. Ficklin in the pocket, pressure off the edge. Bird waits, dances, jukes a tackler. Now decides to run at the 15 and then got ushered out of bounds at about the 10-yard line, maybe the 11.
Forced out of bounds at the 10-yard line.
He'll get 11 yards on the play, Nick, but that penalty, dead ball penalty, makes it even worse. You're down by 2 scores with 1:58 to play. 3 doesn't do you much good, although it does at least get you something. Ruffers have 4th and goal to go from the 11-yard line.
Clock just inside 2 minutes now to play here in the first half.
Watson, Gibbons, and Bell again go to the left side. Caden McGee outside the numbers to the boundary right. Ficklin takes the snap, rides it, throws across the middle, up the seam, catch by Gibbons, open between defenders, touchdown Muskogee. An 11-yard touchdown toss on a little crease route to Isaiah Gibbons. Touchdown Ruffers, touchdown James Hodge Ford, home of the Built Ford Tough F-150.
That'll be a nice thing to go into the locker room with at halftime, assuming nothing bad happens in the last minute 54 seconds.
Ficklin with the touchdown toss, his 2nd of the night, his 19th of the season. Skylar Onebear on to try the PAT as the green smoke signs cover the air. Bad snap. Ball is down. The kick's up, and it is just inside the left upright good. With 1:54 left to go before halftime, the Ruffers drive 94 yards and score on a 4th and goal from the 11 on a touchdown pass, Ficklin to Gibbons. It's 20-14. Ponca City over the Ruffers. We're back in 30 seconds. This is Ruffer Football 2021. Tradition. It's a word that means a lot. Just as the tradition of the Muskogee Ruffers requires commitment of great players and coaches, Lesher Millsap Funeral Home takes pride in providing great value and commitment every day with a tradition of service to the families of the Muskogee area. Just like in football, tradition must be earned on every play, every day, not just in the final score. And that's why you can trust Lesher Millsap Funeral Home to be there for you when it counts the most. Lesher Millsap Funeral Home, proud to be part of the Muskogee tradition of excellence.
The fundraiser on the south side of the stadium.
Bill Huddleston, Nick Hampton, back at Indian Bowl. 1:54 to go before halftime. Nick, nice answering drive by the Ruffers after the defense forced the punt. And then the Ruffers answering on a crucial 4th down and goal on the 11-yard scoring toss.
Now the defense has got to do the job and not let Ponca City get anything going here this last couple of minutes.
Ruffers try a little onside kick that an alert group of special teams people, Brett Haney, able to catch that one in midair and slide to the turf at the 40-yard line.
Not sure
so
I agree.
1:54 to go. I'm not either.
I don't think I agree with that.
I don't want to
decision.
criticize because I'm not a coach.
Yeah.
But just I'm saying with 1:54 to go, I'm going to make you go as far as you got to go.
Absolutely.
But the Ruffers have had trouble, Nick, in kick return coverage.
True.
So you kind of understand some of the ideology of the Ruffer coaching staff to maybe go with that little pooch kick and hopefully get a loose ball bounce. 1st and 10, Wildcats from their own 40. Tay Moore takes the snap. He's going to keep it himself. He'll come straight ahead. Devin Whitfield's got him around the waist, and Mans will help out on the tackle. The gain will be for a yard upfield to the 41-yard line.
After Moore got some yardage in the early going, keeping the ball, the Ruffers have done a pretty good job on him in his last 3 or 4 carries, limiting him to 1, 1, and 3 yards.
Ruffers here, if they could force a short stop or an incomplete pass, should Ponca City decide to throw the ball, Nick. Still has 2 timeouts remaining. Clock running with 1:20 to go.
I'm guessing the Wildcats probably are going to play it pretty close to the vest here.
Krieger and Cunningham go to the right side. Tay Moore with the running back, just going to call his own number. Trying to bounce out on the edge. He stood up in a hurry as the Ruffers gang tackle this one for a loss of a yard back to the 40. And Muskogee does exactly what we talked about, take a timeout. Ruffers with 1:01 left to go before halftime, trailing 20-14. But, Nick, right out of the get-go, Ruffers were down 2 touchdowns and have had to be playing catch-up all night long tonight. And speaking of catch-up, that's exactly what Booker T. Washington's having to do tonight at home at S.C. Williams Stadium for the 3rd straight week. That's kind of an odd scheduling advantage for the Hornets, but right now Bixby holding a 14-0 lead. That's the last score we had there. Sand Springs in front of Putnam City West, 14-0. We'll check some other scores throughout the night, but here tonight at Indian Bowl, the big score that matters most is the score that's on the big Jumbotron scoreboard on the north end zone.
Hilldale's come alive in their game against Fort Gibson. They were down 18-7. They've scored 20 points in rapid succession. Now lead 27-18.
And a quick update from S.C. Williams Stadium before halftime now. Bixby has opened up a 41-13 advantage.
Wow.
Choctaw shutting out Bartlesville 48-0. Third and 10 to go from the 40-yard line. Taymor, hard count, hands it off, and this time the Ruffers snuff it, and they'll spend their last time out. Good defensive 3-down stop that time by the Ruffers. There was a host of tacklers on top of Blake Bristol. That time he actually loses a yard, Nick, back upfield to the 39-yard line.
Only negative yardage Bristow has on the night. He has 15 carries for 96 yards so far.
Don't forget, don't go away too far when we take our halftime 3-minute break, because we'll come right back out of that into a chat between Nick Hampton and Mike Kays, who, along with the encouragement of Superintendent of Schools Dr. Jared Mendenhall, formulated an all-time best high school football team of Muskogee Ruffers. That started with the 1939 season, players from Muskogee as well as from Manual training. And then Central and Manual became one in the early 70s. Altogether, that's 96 seasons of high school football that will culminate to a finish here tonight. We'll talk about that special group of players, plus have one of those players on as our guest. Low snap, back to Anderson, gets the kick away. It's almost blocked. It's kind of a shank off the side of his foot. But a low snap, and the Ruffers came through quickly. Devin Whitfield got up in the face of the punter as he's getting all kinds of high fives, and they're going to mark the ball where?
Upfield.
45-yard line.
Ruffers will get a good break here. That's a 16-yard punt.
So now from the 45-yard line with 49 seconds to go before halftime, Ruffers, could they find a way to magically have the spirits of Indian Bowl find their way to the end zone?
Well, empty backfield tells you they're going to throw it.
Ruffers this time will direct snap. Bird takes it. Good protection. Trying to get out on the edge. Throws upfield looking for a receiver. That's Caden McGee over on the boundary. McGee will step on the painted sideline at the 40, and that'll stop the clock. But it's more than enough for a Ruffer first down at 10 on the 15-yard touchdown. First down catch. J. Hodge Chevrolet, Muskogee Ruffer, 1st and 10.
And Pickland continues to gain yardage now, 152 yards passing.
So now Bell, McGee, and Gibbons are to the left side. Watson by himself outside the numbers. They'll throw it underneath to Anthony Watson. He'll be wrapped up and tossed to the playing turf at the 38-yard line. 2-yard pickup. Clock showing 38 seconds. Ruffers trying to manage what the old-timers used to call the 2-minute offense. In today's terminology, Nick, it's the hurry-up offense because the Ruffers got this one with 49 seconds to go before halftime.
And they are running. They went out of bounds, so that stopped the clock. Gives them a little bit of help.
Trio of receivers again going wide left. Watson along with another receiver, Talbert, pass across the middle. This one is incomplete as Caden McGee was coming on the slant route. Good coverage, quickly getting over there to maybe take away the concentration of the Ruffer receiver was Carson Williams. Incomplete pass brings up 3rd down, but it stops the clock with 36 seconds to go. Now Bird takes the quick snap, rolls to his left, looking to run or throw. Gibbons is out there, throw it to him. He does. Isaiah on the boundary, and did he stay in bounds? I don't know if he did, but the officials coming up the sideline and say, yep, he made the catch at the 30-yard line. Well, I wasn't sure. No, now they're going to say he was out of bounds. It looked like
he was out of bounds.
That was just wait too long on the part of Ficklin because Gibbons was out there kind of just begging for him to throw the football.
Well, it's 4th down. You got to go for it here. 4th and 9. Got to get down close to the 30.
Have to move the sticks and hope to get some sort of play that'll stop the clock. Ruffers with trips to the left side and twins to the right. Empty backfield for Ficklin. Takes the snap. Sets in the pocket. Now steps up. He's under some pressure. Backpedals. Trying to run to the corner. Throws upfield. Comeback effort. Catch made by Jaden Bell at the 30-yard line. He'll fall forward to the 29 and go down. That'll stop the clock with 20 seconds left to play.
Nice move by Bell coming back to help out his quarterback.
10-yard completion on 4th down. Quickly, Ruffers will spike the football. When Ficklin threw that one like a fastball right into the turf. 15 seconds to go. It'll be 2nd and 10. Ruffers will have the possession and the opportunity for one or possibly two more plays. Hoping to find the end zone or possibly get close enough for a Skyler One-Bear field goal try. But, of course, you have no timeouts left. Trips this time come wide right. Ficklin with Talbert to his right, stands in the pocket, waits, throws upfield, looking for Bell, caught by Jaden at the 15. He falls forward. That's enough for a first down. That'll stop the clock. Ruffers will hurry and get to the line of scrimmage. 9 seconds to go here before halftime. Referee Ray Snoddy will wind the clock as Ficklin slams it into the turf with 5 seconds left.
We'll have chance for one more play to get down, see if they can get some points.
The last pass completion to Jaden Bell was 15 yards.
Let's see what Travis Hill wants to do here.
I think Ponca City's going to call a timeout. They want to make sure they've got the right defensive assignments made here, too. Scott Harmon, of course, is kind of a defensive guru for the Wildcats. So that's their final timeout. So everybody's taking their allotment of timeouts here with 5 seconds left to go before halftime. But what a big momentum boost this would be to the Ruffers locker room at halftime, Nick, if they could go in with points on the final play of the first half.
Yeah, with the possibility of taking the lead in the game after getting down by 2 touchdowns in the first 5 minutes or so.
This drive started at the Ruffer 45-yard line after the defensive unit forced a 3-and-out and a short punt gave Muskogee the football at its 45. Now in 7 snaps of the football have moved it to the 15 with only 5 seconds left to go before intermission.
This will be something into the end zone. It's a little too far, I think, for the field goal effort here for the Ruffers.
How about a little State Farm insurance coverage here for the Ruffers?
That slant pattern has worked well tonight for the Ruffers to Bell and Gibbons.
David Cobb, your fast, fair, and friendly State Farm insurance agent with insurance for all your needs, for your health, your home, your life, your car, your business. Count on David Cobb. Give him a call, 918-682-2511. Empty backfield for Ficklin. On a 2nd and 10, but virtually 2nd and goal for the Ruffers. Ficklin will hold the snap. Straight drop back, good protection, waits, throws upfield. Pass is in and out of the hands, and the clock stops with 1 second left to go. Wow. That's a quick trigger on the clock. And the Ponca City coaching staff saying there is absolutely no way there was that much time available. But the incomplete pass will stop the clock, and the Ruffers will bring on Skyler One-Bear.
So this will be a 32-yard attempt for One-Bear.
I know we have Ponca City followers listening and watching our broadcast tonight, Nick, and I'm going to say the officials were late stopping the clock.
This will be his long for the
32-yard field goal. Ball down, kick is on the way. It's miserably, woefully short. And the first half comes to a close. But what could have been a knockout punch by Ponca City turns into a night of opportunity for the Muskogee Ruffers late as the Ruffers rally to make it a 20-14 score here at intermission. Back with our special guests, Mike Kays and Nick Hampton, and a little bit later on, one of the all-time Ruffer greats, Cameron Curl, will be aboard here at halftime. That after this timeout of 3 minutes on Ruffer Football 2021.
The Muskogee Athletic Department would like to recognize its proud Ruffer Athletics sponsors: Armstrong Bank, Oklahoma Army National Guard, Arvest Bank, Chick-fil-A Muskogee, Neighbors Building Neighborhoods, St. Francis Muskogee, Tommy Nix Auto Group, Springs Skilled Nursing and Therapy. Go Ruffers!
It's a special time of the year at J. Hodge Chevrolet Muskogee. No tricks. I hope we get this right. Oklahoma, it's treats for trade-ins, and we need trade-ins. Come get a trade-in bonus up to $1,500 when you buy your new Chevy. No tricks. Get an appraisal at the dealership or at your home. Treats for trade-ins up to $1,500 extra. No tricks. J. Hodge Chevrolet Muskogee, 144 West Shawnee.
It's a time when uncertainty spreads faster than understanding. It's also a time when taking steps to prepare can help us all find a sense of security. At ServPro, helping our nation's homes, businesses, and shared spaces be more clean, be more safe, is why we're here. Here in your community, here to help.
Red Dirt Production Services proudly supports the Muskogee Roughers. Productivity in the oil and gas industry requires every member of the team to know their job and do it to the best of their abilities. Just like in football, teamwork is a #1 priority, and that's the mission of Red Dirt Production Services, serving the oil and gas industry through roustabout and well pumping services, along with environmental remediation and pipeline construction. Proud to join forces with the Roughers to win every day the Muskogee way. Red Dirt Production Services says, "Go Roughers!"
I'm Kyle Edwards for Kyle Edwards Buick GMC in Muskogee and the all-new Kyle Edwards Auto Group in Shakota. With the addition of Chevrolet, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram in Shakota and Buick GMC in Muskogee, it now gives our customers a great lineup of new makes and models to choose from. We are very proud to bring you a buying experience you won't find anywhere else. If you haven't visited us yet, come give us a chance. You'll like what you see. Family-owned, customer-friendly, Kyle Edwards Buick GMC in Muskogee and Kyle Edwards Auto Group in Shakota.
In times of need, it's comforting to see faces of people you know and trust. Cornerstone Funeral Home in Muskogee cherishes the opportunity to be there for you and your family in life's most challenging times when friends are most important. Cornerstone Funeral Home and Crematory welcomes the opportunity to answer any questions regarding planning and pre-arrangements for you and your loved ones. Experience the difference. Cornerstone Funeral Home, 1830 North York in Muskogee, where you'll find faces you know and reputations you trust.
Back with you at Indian Bowl. It's halftime on the final game, at least high school varsity game of Indian Bowl's history. And the Ponca City Wildcats leading the Roughers 20-14. Tonight we're going to talk at halftime about the All-Indian Bowl team. It's kind of an idea that started last winter with sports director Mike Kays. We talked with him a little bit about how this idea got all started and some of the things that went into picking this football team this year. Okay, Mike, well, let's talk a little bit about how the idea of this All-Indian Bowl team got started and the inception of it to begin with.
Well, I was at I don't remember the basketball game. It was right after the break, and I'm going into the hospitality room with Ron Milam and Superintendent Jared Mendenhall stops me and says, think about the idea of a all-Indian Bowl team, and I'm like, without really thinking about it, I said, yeah, sure, it's probably doable. And then, of course, we got to researching and, found a number of all-state teams, Oklahoma coaches, Oklahoma, Tulsa World. As I got into some of our microfiche, I discovered that stats weren't really important in many of those days on up until the 70s and into the 80s, and even had this conversation with Barry Lewis over at the World, which I kind of incorporated some of his help in terms of doing the research that we, the committee, got together and evaluated. So it was an interesting challenge because of that. A lot of the evaluation came on what these guys did afterward, and all, and so you can really look at it as not only an all-Indian Bowl team, but some of the greatest players that came from Indian Bowl.
It was kind of interesting to see the differences between the names the committee came with and the fans who got to vote, and some of them who they thought were the best players.
Yeah, we had talked about having a more loosely defined ballot, and a lot of times what happens on those is it becomes sort of a what's fresh on your memory thing. I know when I think the best example of that was when the Dallas Cowboys did their 50th anniversary deal. A lot of the guys that were post-Super Bowl era got more votes than some of the guys that really had the great years in the championship years. I think that the committee did a pretty good job of balancing that and representing those, and even finding one in particular, the lineman from Emmanuel that made it, Edison Harrington, who was a 5-time Canadian Football League All-Pro. You know, you kind of lose track of some of these guys as they go off, as do you, with like, say, the situation with Michael Pleasant. Graduated 74. I get a call in here when I get in the office, and he says, in part of the discussion, you think sometimes that the people back home have forgotten about you. Well, he made the team.
What was the biggest challenge as you look back on it now and it's all done? What was the biggest challenge of doing this?
I want to say that, again, the biggest challenge was trying to find things that defined exactly what they did in high school. I'd always been told, been here 21 years, and when Tramal Ivy set the sack record, which nobody had it in writing, but they said, oh, Jamie Young did. Well, I went to Jamie Young. He said, I don't have a record book. And, so a lot of what's been done and said has been passed on over time, even with the paper being somewhat inconsistent on that. But, the tougher thing to me is knowing that I've been here 21 years and seen some guys and even come into relationship with guys that played before that time, that I knew had some pretty remarkable things happen to them as football players here, of them not being on this. And, with 96 years, as I said in the paper today, 96 years, that's one per year. That's almost 9 units. It's almost impossible to come up with something. We could do this 3 years from now, and it might have some new guys on there.
Okay, Mike, well, thank you for all your hard work on this and putting together the All-Indian Bowl team after these 96 years. We'll be back with more. You're watching and listening to Muskogee Rougher Football 2021. We'll be back in 60 seconds.
When you come home after a long day, Bravado Wireless Home Internet has you covered in your neighborhood or on your farm. For a limited time, our unlimited home internet has been discounted to only $49 per month with the purchase of a $99 router. And get this, the first 3 months of service is on us. So what are you waiting for? Make the switch today and visit us at bravadowireless.com for more info and to find a store near you. We are Bravado Wireless, and we believe in the power of connection.
Hi, welcome to Nissan of Muskogee.
Here in Muskogee, we're just 45 minutes from Tulsa, but us being family owned, like I said, the customers feel like family too.
What makes Nissan of Muskogee different? It's our people and a driving desire to surpass the expectations of our customers.
We care, and that's why they come to us.
Become a part of the family and let our people take care of you. Call 918-683-6605 or go to nissanofmuskogee.com.
Is your band ready?
Welcome back to Indian Bowl here on this final night of high school football action.
Ladies and gentlemen,
in the 82 years or 83 seasons of high school football, Bill Huddleston here with you, and you heard the comments of Nick Hampton and Mike Case talking about that all-time great Muskogee Rougher football team. And in my perspective, one of the young men that deserved to be recognized on that squad is my guest here at halftime. And I have to say, Cameron Curl, you've grown just a bit since you were wearing the Muskogee Rougher green and white.
Yeah, it's been a little minute since I put on that green and white.
Talk to me a little bit about how things are going for you with the Washington Redskins.
It's a dream come true, you know what I'm saying? I just feel like I'm living my dream right now, trying to get better every year, hopefully get that big payday. Absolutely. Now, of course, Ruffers remember you as a youth out here at Indian Bowl and then through the middle school program. And I know we talked multiple times about your dreams for the future. And you always had a dream of not just playing on Saturday on the collegiate level, but playing on Sunday in the National Football League. Yeah, that's always been a dream since I was young, you know what I'm saying? And just I'm glad I had the support staff around me to keep pushing me, you know what I'm saying? Even when times got hard, just keep pushing and keeping that goal in my face and knowing, like, having a why I'm out here playing, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I absolutely do. Cameron Curl is our guest here at halftime. And as you come back to Indian Bowl, as you walked in, were there special memories that began to flash back for you, Cam?
Yeah, a lot of memories come, especially on this field, like, from playing 6th, 7th grade to my senior year in high school on this field. There's just a lot of memories coming back.
Obviously, there had to be one special moment that you recall, and I think I might know who the opponent may be.
Yeah, I'd say that senior year playing Bigsby. You know, they came in here #1, and we knocked them off. You know what I'm saying? It was no other feeling like that. You know, they rushed the field. It was just a great feeling to bring the whole community that win.
Absolutely. Now, you were part of that group that by popular vote as well as by the committee's choice were selected to be one of those special group of players recognized as the all-time greats to have played here at Indy Bowl. There's some big-time names, guys, like Kurt Burroughs, who was not only a two-position All-Stater, he was a two-time state champion. He was also part of the national champions at the University of Oklahoma. He was a runner-up for the Heisman as a lineman. Have you ever heard of that happening?
No, it's crazy.
Better chance for a defensive back nowadays.
Yeah.
Exactly right. But for you to be selected in that exclusive group, what does it mean to Cameron Curl?
It means a lot, you know what I'm saying? Just, little old me with those great names, you know what I'm saying? It means a lot. It means, like, all the hard work I put in on this field is paying off, it's going to keep paying off, so I appreciate all of it.
When you come back here and see the green and white, you see the players going, and when you sit in the stands, are you watching the defensive backs and think, oh, do this, do that, in your own mind?
I mean, it's a different perspective, especially, when you're playing, and then now you're in the stands. It's just like you see stuff that other people don't see, you know what I'm saying? You might know why I play messed up, you know what I'm saying? But I'm not one of those stands coaches, you know what I'm saying?
You're not a critic.
I let them play, yeah.
Let them play because you remember how much noise was being talked in the stands when you were on the field.
Right.
You and Joe Combs and the other members of that football team that went all the way to the state semifinals. And I'm sure if there was one moment you'd like to have back would be that state semifinal game.
Yeah, that was one that hurt, that ate at me for a long time, you know what I'm saying? Just because the talent we had on that team, I know we could have won it all that year for sure.
Absolutely. Of course, before we got started, you heard one of the comments of the guys here in the booth. Shane Stewart said you broke his heart when you shuffled that OU hat aside and picked up the Razorback hat and went, of course, for 3 years at the University of Arkansas before being drafted in the third round? Seventh round.
Yes, sir.
And then, of course, have made your way, though, into the starting defensive backfield. That had to be kind of a testament of your dedication.
Yeah, for sure. Like, just coming in as a 7th-round pick, you kind of get the short end of the stick. So just keeping that in my head and knowing, like, this is my dream. I'm here, so I got to take full advantage of it,
Cameron Curl, our guest here at halftime. Ruffers trail on the scoreboard to Ponca City, 20-14. Cameron, I want to ask you, how much faster did the game get at each level? You remember great in the youth leagues.
Mm-hmm.
It got faster at the middle school level. It got even faster at the high school level. I know it became almost warp speed when you went to the University of Arkansas and playing in the SEC.
Right.
But now in the National Football League on Sunday, is it faster?
Yeah, for sure. It's faster. It's more efficient play out there, you know what I'm saying? No false steps or somebody's going to run past you for sure. But it's always going to get faster and more physical the higher level you go.
You've been through one season. Now you're partway through season number 2. Who's the toughest receiver to match up against?
Toughest
for
receiver?
You?
Honestly, I would probably say we had just played Tyreek Hill. That whole offense is crazy.
Tyreek the Freak, yeah.
It's just a playground offense. You're just chasing people around, but people starting to slow it down now. So, just hopefully they can get back to their ways, but not against us.
I know it's never about me, but it's about we, no matter what level of football you're playing. But I'm sure you have some aspirations. It was great to see you on that rookie All-Pro selection a year ago. But I'm sure you have aspirations of possibly, as your career continues, to maybe – find an all-pro ring to go along with that.
Oh, yeah, for sure. That's the goal. I'm trying to be the best at my position in the NFL, just all-pro, Pro Bowls, Super Bowls, all that. That's the goals for sure.
Hey, we appreciate you coming home. It's always nice to have a Ruffer back in the house. Once a Ruffer, always a Ruffer. But most certainly, Cam, it's nice to see you here and have a chance to be with you here in the booth. And congratulations on being selected to the best of Indian Bowl athletes wearing the Muskogee green and white.
Yes, thank you. Thank y'all for having me.
You bet. Cameron Curl, our guest here at halftime. A special opportunity for myself, Nick Hampton, and all of us here on Ruffer TV to bring back one of those highlight reel guys, Cameron Curl. Ruffers here at halftime, training the Ponca City Wildcats by the score of 20-14. Back with more after this 2-minute timeout of Ruffer Football 2021.
Pioneer Abstract, proudly serving residential and commercial customers throughout Muskogee County since 1905. Serving banks, mortgage companies, and mortgage brokers with refinancing, purchase, 1031 tax-deferred exchanges, along with full escrow services and more. Pioneer Abstract offers the convenience of centralized services for escrow accounts, title insurance, and title searches. Pioneer Abstract, here yesterday, here today, and here tomorrow at 412 West Broadway in downtown Muskogee, or call Pioneer Abstract at 683-2904.
We are what makes Oklahoma proud. We are mothers. We are coaches, counselors, and teachers. We are community. We are innovators in medical technologies. We are researchers developing breakthroughs to diagnose, treat, and cure diseases. We are everyday people. We are Northeastern Health Systems.
Pioneer Abstract, proudly serving residential and commercial customers throughout Muskogee County since 1905. Serving banks, mortgage companies, and mortgage brokers with refinancing, purchase, 1031 tax-deferred exchanges, along with full escrow services and more. Pioneer Abstract offers the convenience of centralized services for escrow accounts, title insurance, and title searches. Pioneer Abstract, here yesterday, here today, and here tomorrow at 412 West Broadway in downtown Muskogee, or call Pioneer Abstract at 683-2904.
Having a good time is an American tradition, and at James Hodge, we're proud Americans. Now is the greatest time to get together, get out, and get away, no matter where the open road takes you. Your journey starts at James Hodge, an authentic part of Oklahoma for over 50 years. Get in a perfect ride at James Hodge Ford.
The James Hodge Ford Promise. The best selection, the absolute best price, and service guaranteed. James Hodge Ford, 1200 North Main, Muskogee, online at hodgeford.com. Welcome back to halftime here at Indian Bowl. Muskogee Ruffers got themselves in a deep hole early, but managed to make exciting times down the final moments of the first half of play, cutting what was a 2-touchdown advantage in half to a 20-14 score here at the break here on this senior night. Final night of high school football scheduled to be played for the Muskogee Ruffers at historic Indian Bowl. 83 seasons, 82 years, 96 seasons if you count the years played by Manual Training High School before the two schools merged there in the early 70s as Muskogee High School. They camped in the first half of tonight's ball game. Certainly was heavily in favor of Ponca City until the Ruffer offense finally got going.
Kind of sleepwalk there for a little bit. The Muskogee offense turned the ball over first possession on an interception, fumbled on the second possession. Ponca City made them pay the price both times, and the Wildcats got out to a quick 14-0 lead before the Ruffers finally kind of got going. Ponca City doing a good job in their running game and took a lot of time off the clock on their drives. They drove 60 yards and 70 yards and 67, I think, on their third drive. So long drives that ate up the clock, but the Ruffers strike back going down the field primarily with the passing route so far tonight. Just quickly looking at the stats, for the Ruffers, they had 12 rushes for 69 yards, 12 of 19 passing for Jamarian Ficklin for 178 yards, 2 touchdowns and an interception, 247 yards total offense for the Ruffers in the first half, 1 fumble, 1 interception, and 1 penalty for 15. For the Ponca City Wildcats, they rushed it 23 times for 128 yards, 7 of 11 passing for another 80 for more. So 208 yards in total offense for the Wildcats. They also had 1 penalty for 15 yards in the game.
And really, Nick, the difference was the ability finally for the Ruffers to make a third down stop and force a short punt. But the ability for Ponca City to just manage the clock by extending the possessions, whether it was second or third down, able to pick up even the long yardage situations, most of that being done on the power running game anchored by Blake Bristow, the junior tailback.
Yeah, Bristow has, in this first half, 15 carries for 96 yards. Moore, the only other guy, the quarterback, carried the ball. He carried for 8 times for 32 yards. So those two did the damage on the ground. Moore kind of so-so through the air for just 80 yards passing, but that and his feet combined with Bristow kept the Ponca City offense going.
For Muskogee Ruffers in the second half, though, Nick, they will start defensively because here in the first half, Ruffers won the toss and took the possession. So now here in the third quarter, they're going to have to come out and play strong defensively.
They really will, and it seemed like the defense kind of got a little bit more attuned to what Ponca City was doing there in the latter stages of the second quarter. So hopefully they'll make some more adjustments and kind of turn this thing around and get the win that they really want to get out of this before we close the doors at Indian Bowl.
20-14 is our halftime score, quickly going around the league in the district play. Bixby having no problems with Tulsa, Washington. That's just before halftime. It was 41-13. Choctaw slamming the door in the face of Bartlesville, 48-0. And Sand Springs shutting out Putnam City West just before halftime, 28-0. Here at Indian Bowl, it is Muskogee trailing Ponca City, 20-14. Stay tuned. More Rougher Football comes your way after this 2-minute timeout on Rougher Football 2021.
In sports, having the right winning strategy is often the difference between winning and losing. The same is true when you need legal representation. For more than 15 years, the law offices of Michael A. Finnerty have successfully provided the winning strategy with excellence and integrity for the people of the Muskogee area in matters of personal injury, social security disability, and workers' compensation issues. The law office Muskogee trusts Michael A. Finnerty, ready to develop a winning strategy. Michael A. Finnerty, 436 Court Street in Muskogee. Call 687-1155. Online at finnertylaw.com.
Pain is temporary, pride is forever. At Excel Therapy, we want to be your athlete's advocate for excellence. We offer treatment methods that focus on strengthening muscles and improving flexibility to improve your overall performance. And when injury sets in, Excel Therapy can aid in the recovery process. We know it's important to get back in the game, so trust the comeback experts, Excel Physical Therapy and Sports Medicine. With 16 locations and no physician referral required, you can begin healing today. From setback to comeback, the name you can trust, Excel Physical Therapy and Sports Medicine. Look for us online at exceltherapyok.com.
Hi, welcome to Nissan Muskogee.
Here in Muskogee, I mean, we're just 45 minutes from Tulsa, but us being family owned, I mean, like I said, the customers feel like family too.
What makes Nissan and Muskogee different? It's our people and a driving desire to surpass the expectations of our customers.
We care, and that's why they come to us.
Become a part of the family and let our people take care of you. Call 918-683-6605 or go to nissanandmuskogee.com.
Tradition. It's a word that means a lot. Just as the tradition of the Muskogee Roughers requires commitment of great players and coaches, Lesher Millsap Funeral Home takes pride in providing great value and commitment every day with a tradition of service to the families of the Muskogee area. Just like in football, tradition must be earned on every play, every day, not just in the final score. And that's why you can trust Lesher Millsap Funeral Home to be there for you when it counts the most. Lesher Millsap Funeral Home, proud to be part of the Muskogee tradition of excellence. Welcome back to Indian Bowl. We're on this Friday night, the first Friday night in November. It is senior night, in addition to being the final chapter of Rougher Football here at Indian Bowl. The members of the Rougher Football team, cheer, pom, ROTC, spirits groups were all introduced prior to tonight's game. And here at halftime, it's senior night for the 24 members of the Pride in Muskogee being recognized with their family and friends on the field level. I want to say a special congratulations to two members of the Muskogee Roughers fast pitch softball team. Carson York and Cambry Johnson were voted to the 6A All-District squad, and then a special award for a special player, a special young lady, Carson York, being named to the East All-State team, East All-State fast pitch softball team. That announcement coming out earlier this week, and she'll, of course, compete in the Midsummer Classic in the fast pitch All-State games in next July. But Nick Hampton, we've talked about it from the opening comment all the way through the halftime visit, and after all the photos of me and you and Shane, not of us together, but each one of us taking our special Kodak moment with Cameron Curl. It's nice to have a guy of his humbleness to come back home and still remember where he came from and still glad to be a part of it and to be here in the booth with us. But he's one of that special group of athletes that is included in the Muskogee Phoenix and Muskogee Public Schools all-time best football players ever to play at Indian Bowl.
You and I were on the part of that committee that kind of helped form this whole thing, and you know, we talked to Mike about some of the challenges. I think one of the things
I know he's got to just be brokenhearted that he couldn't be here in person tonight. He's locked up on the desk back at the Phoenix.
This was a challenge if you think about all the people that have been through here, and I think part of the criteria, and maybe some of the criteria that fans really didn't take into account, was not only how they did here at Indian Bowl in the time that they were in Muskogee High School, but how that talent transitioned into the next level, and in Cam Curl's pace, the next level. And so, that's kind of the criteria that I know we used as a committee to kind of help select this team.
And it's easy to understand the popularity vote, and the online balloting is going to obviously favor the younger generations, the more current day players that have played, and each one of those young men certainly deserving for their recognition. But there's a lot of the people here today, Nick, that I sometimes wonder, do they really know about the all-time historic greats that were part of those multi-championship years when Paul Young was coaching the Muskogee Ruffers here at Indian Bowl?
Well, and that's one thing Mike mentioned in the interview. He talked a little bit about, compared that to the Dallas Cowboys when they did their 50th anniversary team, kind of like this. And, the popular vote was more for the current guys, and they kind of forgot about the guys that were back in the Tom Landry era that
the Ralph
won the
Nealys,
Super Bowls.
the Bob Lillies, Bob Hayes,
Yeah.
Don Meredith. I still have a autograph that was actually for my wife. It was made out when my youngest son was still to be born. I got a chance to go to Texas to watch the Dallas Cowboys play on Monday night, and at the end of the game, call it a stroke of luck, I got to ride down the elevator with Dandy Don Meredith, and I was telling him, you have no idea how my wife would just be in awe of being here, but she's home 8 months pregnant, waiting on our first child to be born. So to have that signature on the back of a napkin that says, name it after me, Dandy Don Meredith. But that's some of those special moments that you talk about. But, again, one of those all-time greats for the Cowboys. But you've got a list of the all-time greats to have ever played football here at Indian Bowl wearing the Muskogee Ruffer uniform.
So here are the positions. They go by positions, and so we'll give you the vote, the popular vote. The fans voted on through the newspaper, and then the committee selections as well. So at quarterback, Prince McJunkins and Rel Lewis were the two that were picked by the fans. The committee picked McJunkins and one of those names from the past, Eddie Crowder, who, of course, played here, played at OU, had a great career there. Running backs, I don't think anybody argues that Glenn Bell is the top name there. Seth Luttrell and Pete Richardson were the other two that were picked by the fans. The committee also picked Glenn Bell and then picked Jim Luttrell and Bob Burris. So two of the guys from a little bit farther back. Wide receivers were the same for the committee and the fans. Jameel Owens, Joe Rector, who played back in the 40s and 50s and went on to OU, and Jason Freeman, who, of course, had a fine career here and went on to OU. In the offensive line, the fans picked Kurt Burris, Terry Webb, Ron Freeman, Buddy Burris, and Stevie Pollard. The committee picked Kurt Burris, Terry Webb, Bo Bollinger, Paul Buddy Burris, and Edison Harrington, who was one of those that Mike mentioned from the years gone by that they had to kind of dig out and find. He was in the Canadian Football League, was an all-pro there for several years. Kicker and punter, Sammy Henry, who, of course, is a local businessman here, and Preston Soper were picked by the fans. The committee picked Sammy and Kent Lashley. Defensive line, fans picked Stacy McGee, Robert Thomas, Derek Burton, and Tramal Ivy, and boy, there's some big guys in that group. The committee went with Stacy McGee, Taryn Manning, Robert Thomas, Derek Burton, and Max Boydston, who was a name from the past. At linebackers, Jerome Ledbetter, Arthur McNack, Phil Givens, and Preston Carpenter were the picks by the fans. The committee picked Jerome Ledbetter, Seth Luttrell, Preston Carpenter, and Jeff Lee. And in the defensive backs, Cam Curl, Joey Ballard, Ty Williams, and Donald Kreiner. The committee went with Curl, Michael Pleasant, Joey Ballard, and Ty Williams. So certainly those were the picks.
A very talented group of football greats that have struck up the tune of On Muskogee endless number of times. The Muskogee Ruffers, as we get ready to go with the second half, will hope to strike it up defensively as the Wildcats of Ponca City lead 20-14 here at intermission as we get ready for the third quarter of action. And, Nick, before we get too far along after maybe the change of possession, I'm going to ask you for your all-time favorite of those Muskogee greats. Waiting on the referee's whistle. Skylar Winbear will approach. Again, this is a little short pooch. That an alert play again by Ponca City. That one's going to be a flag no matter what because it failed to cover the 10 yards. But Ruffers just saying we're not going to let Ponca City run any type of a kickback and just hope that our defense can do the job. And now, Nick, it'll be time for the green and white Ruffer defensive unit to stand their ground.
Now, this is the first time that Ponca City has started in Muskogee territory, so we'll see what happens here. And again, you kind of wonder, giving up that kind of field position, but we'll see if the defense is up to the goal. They did a pretty good job in the last 6 or 7 minutes of that second quarter.
Wildcats will go with a 2 tight end look down the line, little option pitch out on the corner. Good block out on the edge. Ruffers finally get over there to corral Blake Bristow, but a nice block out on the edge. During the blocking lane, Sholey kicked out the corner. That allowed the upfield effort of Blake Bristow to take it from the 48 downfield to what will be the 43, a pickup of 5 on first down.
Bristow tops the 100-yard mark now tonight in rushing with 101.
That's his 4th time this season that the junior running back who shared duties a year ago, Nick, but has become the go-to guy in this Ponca City, very close to the vest offensive set. 2nd and 5, again, waiting on blocking to create a crease and then exploding through the hole inside the 35 and down to the 29-yard line goes Blake Bristow. They're going to put it back up at the 30. So a 13-yard gallop, but more importantly, a Ponca City first down and 10. Nick, they're starting this third quarter just like they did the first possession of the first half.
Their offensive line just kind of controlling, and again, the kind of short stature Bristow finding a way to pick and find the little holes and get through them, and then with a burst of speed, turns 3 yards into 13.
10:55 in the clock running here early in quarter number 3. One wide receiver either side. Running back to the right. Tay Moore going to call his own number this time, and he'll just try to hide in behind that offensive line as the Ruffers grab him around the waist and try to pull him to the turf, but not before the quarterback, a sophomore, is able to push the pile downfield for about a 3-yard pickup.
Kind of keeps the Ruffer offense off balance a little bit. A lot of Bristow, and then every once in a while Moore will call his own number and kind of keep it and get 3 or 4.
So the Ruffer defense needs to answer the call here. 2nd down and 7, Ponca City from the Muskogee 27-yard line. Wildcats threatening here early in the third quarter with a 6-point advantage. Tay Moore this time going to give off to the running back who is hit at the line of scrimmage but breaks out of that first tackle. That's just good lower leg strength and then explosiveness by the wrestling-style athlete Blake Bristow, and he'll move the pile inside the 20 and go all the way down to the 18-yard line. More than enough on a 9-yard pickup for a Wildcat first down. They're second in this series.
And they just have taken the ball, started right close to midfield, and ran it down the Ruffers' throat so far here to open this third quarter.
Nick, it's old-style football. It's what Curtis Brackeen, well, we couldn't say student body left, student body right with Glenn Bell, but certainly Blake Bristow is making a name for himself tonight for the Wildcats, who are looking for their 4th win on the season. Now with stacked receivers wide to the left. Again, the handoff goes to Bristow, and he finds a little bit of a crease before being stood up at about the 15, but he'll get 3 yards. Wildcats certainly within the kicking range of Caden Anderson. His longest field goal of the year has been just 22 yards, but, Nick, we saw him in pregame warm-ups able to split the uprights from about 35.
That'll give some credit, too, to their big fullback, Tabor and Stanton, as most of the time he's back there, as you call him, a sniffer back, and they end up running behind him as he goes from one way to the other, and he'll throw a good block in there, too.
2 tight end formation this time, split in right slot to the left. Moore going to hand off, power straight into the line of scrimmage, and then there's 4 green-shirted defenders there. Tion Brewer, one of those guys, along with Chris Gaines. Also making contact on the play was, for Muskogee, Deshaun Smith. Stopped that one virtually for no gain. So it'll be 3rd down and 7 for the Wildcats from the Muskogee 15-yard line.
So this is a big play now. The Ruffers have them kind of backed up. You'd think this is going to be a passing situation. Moore, as we said, not a strong passer, but he's got 80 yards passing tonight.
Might look for Aiden Krieger to come out of that slot. Moore going to drop back in the pocket, wait for his tight end to come open. Now being forced in the pocket, he's in trouble. He just throws this one up for grabs. Maybe picked off. It is intercepted near the goal line. Straight ahead on the return, and the Ruffers were able to get the pick in the end zone. Now that pass was just thrown up. Walker Newton coming up with the INT. Nicky hobbles as he comes off the field, but most importantly, the Ruffers come away with the interception and bring it back out to the 20-yard line.
Well, that's one that Moore should not have thrown, as he was under a lot of pressure and should have just taken his medicine in the loss, but now they turn the ball over and the Ruffers get a break.
Ruffers will go 3 wide to the left side, ball resting on the right hash mark. Counter handoff. Ficklin keeps it. He's in some trouble, jukes one tackler, and will pick up positive yardage out of a negative situation. Ficklin that time, I think, Tolbert thought he was supposed to give him the ball, and Bird says, no, I'm going to fly to my left, and he'll get 4 yards upfield to the 24-yard line all on his own.
Yeah, that's a nice job by Ficklin, as he was pretty well hemmed in. Looks like he was going to be tossed for no gain at all when he gets 4 out of it.
2nd and 6. Twin receivers left and right. Bring motion across the formation. On the jet sweep, trying to turn the corner inside of a block at the 25. Eludes the first contact, but then can't get much more than that as Kennedy McGee on the sweep will get to the 25-yard line. That'll be only a 1-yard pickup. Ruffers will face a 3rd and 5 with the clock running with 7:05 to go before halftime. In the third quarter, check that.
Yeah. So the Ruffers need a big 3rd down play here, kind of turn the tide back after Ponca City moved the ball down close to the red zone only to turn it over. Now the Ruffers trying to turn the momentum back.
Ficklin with a hard count, trying to get Ponca City to jump offside. Can't get anybody to move. Kennedy McGee, Anthony Watson to the right side. Ficklin takes the numbers, high snap, slings a pass, upfield, caught by Kennedy McGee at the 30. Out of an initial grasp, he stood up and forward progress stopped at the 33-yard line. As getting there that time defensively was Devin Zimmershe, but not before the Ruffers were able to get enough yardage, going from the 25 to the 33, an 8-yard pickup. A J. Hodge Chevrolet, Muskogee Ruffer, 1st down and 10.
Nice little just kind of a button hook play there by McGee on the pass. Got down far enough to move the chains and got a couple of yards more out of it.
So 1st and 10 from the 33. Latavian Johnson, the freshman in at running back, turns the corner, changes directions at the 35, and then crawls forward to the 36. Got 3 yards on the 1st down carry. Latavian Johnson, a 5-foot, well, it says 5'6". I'm going to call that standing on his tiptoes. 5'6", 150-pound freshman. Right now, you've got a pair of freshmen in the backfield.
Flag down on the play as well, right at the tackle point.
Hey, during the play, we had holders on the offense. 10-yard penalty from the start of the foul. We played it down.
So Ray Snoddy tells us the holding against Muskogee will move it back to the 25-yard line. So that'll be still 1st down, but now the Ruffers will have 1st down and 18 as that flag was thrown right around the 35-yard line. 5:50 in the clock running here at quarter number 3. Muskogee with an interception in the end zone stops Ponca City's initial possession of the first 3 quarters. Now the Ruffers on 1st and 18 with twins left and right. Ficklin, knee-high snap, takes it, waits patiently in the pocket, throws across the middle. Catch is made by Bell at the 40, spins and comes upfield near the 1st down marker. He'll be about a yard shy as he's going to be marked at the 42-yard line, but a nice 17-yard slant route. That time to Jaden Bell, and Nick, there's without question, that's been the primary favored target for the Ruffer quarterback Jamarian Ficklin, going to Jaden Bell.
Puts Ficklin over the 200-yard mark now, passing 204 yards, and Bell approaching the 100-yard mark.
Now the officials stopping the clock. Not really any indication as to why we are stopping play here, but that gives us an opportunity to remind you, if you've got dinner plans this weekend, you might want to make your way out to the west side of Muskogee. Treat you and your family to all-you-can-eat ribs or any of your favorite barbecue choices at My Place Barbecue West. I know for a long time, Nick, you were the first guy to take me there, and we got to go again. My Place Barbecue West. Ficklin up the middle to Anthony Watson on a
Nice
diving grab right
wow.
at the turf level. Watson able to get his hands securely on the pigskin. He'll take it across the midfield stripe to the 48-yard line in Ponca City territory, and that's a rougher. J. Hodge Chevrolet, first down and 10.
10 yards on the grab, a nice stretching grab by Watson.
So now moving quickly here in the third quarter. Ficklin bringing Gibbons in motion with a blocker out in front, Johnson. Isaiah looking for a crease to turn the corner. Got a little bit of a push from Johnson, and that allowed Gibbons to pick up positive yardage downfield to the 41. That'll pick up about 8 yards or 7 yards on first down. Out of bounds, stops the clock with 4:36 to play at the 42 where they'll mark it. 2nd and 4 will be the situation. Bell and Gibbons will be twins to the left side. McGee and Watson are to the right. That's Caden McGee who comes in motion behind the formation. Hand the ball off inside. Big Tion Brewer leading the way for Latavian Johnson, who stumbles as he comes downfield, crossing the 40 and down to about the 35-yard line. 41 to the 35, 6 more yards this time on the ground, and another J. Hodge Chevrolet. Muskogee River first down at 10.
Nice to see Johnson. He hadn't gotten to play much in the last 2 or 3 weeks, and he's one of those youngsters that's got a lot of promise.
So the Ruffers up front had Tion Brewer out in front leading that blocking charge. Now in to tackle Wesley Harvey on the left side. Ruffers will stare to the sideline as Chris Reisenhuber flashes the play call.
Play clock down to 5 here.
Ficklin will clap his hands, take the snap, sling it out in space. Caught by Bell on the numbers at the 30. Jukes the tackler at the 25, still on his feet, and then stood up as the gang tackle arrives. But the forward progress is going to be to the 23-yard line. That'll be another 12-yard pickup and another J. Hodge Chevrolet. 0% interest, Nick. First out at 10 for the Ruffers.
Tell you what, saw Ponca City really playing soft out there on Bell. He was wide open on the pass, just did a little button hook, and the corner and the safety were way off of him, an easy catch and throw.
Officials will now mark the ball on the hash mark on the left side at the 24 after the 11-yard reception. Trips come wide to the right side this time for Ficklin. Takes the numbers high snap, hands it off, running back in some trouble, and they had just no place to go for Latavian Johnson as pressure came right up the heart from the defensive front. Raiden Agee, Nate Collins, Houston Haas, part of that three-man group of eager Beavers up front for the Wildcats, stopping that for a huge loss of 4 back upfield.
So that kind of puts the Ruffers a little bit behind. But one nice thing is that when Ficklin has gone to the air tonight, he's had good protection. A couple of times he's been under some pressure, but for the most part, he's had time to throw.
Caden McGee will be by himself outside the numbers to the right. Play action series, little bubble screen underneath. Caught by Watson, got a nice block, 20, 15, 10, 5. Ant-Man to the end zone, touchdown. No laundry, touchdown. Muskogee on the touchdown pass. Ruffers on the 28-yard throw and catch. Jamarian Ficklin to Anthony Watson, and the Ruffers have tied the game and a chance now to take the lead.
Well, that'd be nice after getting themselves in a hole early. Have crawled back out of it now with a chance to get the lead for the first time tonight.
On to try the all-important point after touchdown, Skyler Wenbear. Jaden Bell to hold on the go-ahead PAT try. Snap is back in good shape. Pressure up the middle, but the kick splits the uprights good. And with 2:45 left here in quarter number 3, Muskogee on senior night in the final night at Indian Bowl has come back to take the lead 21-20. Stay tuned. We continue from Indian Bowl after this 30-second timeout on Rougher Football 2021. Tradition. It's a word that means a lot. Just as the tradition of the Muskogee Ruffers requires commitment of great players and coaches, Lesher Millsap Funeral Home takes pride in providing great value and commitment every day with a tradition of service to the families of the Muskogee area. Just like in football, tradition must be earned on every play, every day, not just in the final score. And that's why you can trust Lesher Millsap Funeral Home to be there for you when it counts the most. Lesher Millsap Funeral Home, proud to be part of the Muskogee tradition of excellence. Bill Huddleston, Nick Hampton, and our Ruffer TV crew. Twice tonight we've had interception passes, one by each team, that have, in result, produced scores. And the Muskogee Ruffers have taken a 21-20 lead after a 10-play, 80-yard drive, following the interception by Walker Newton.
See if the Roughers will go deeper this time. Yeah, they get the ball back down the field this time.
Right down the center of the field, fielded at the 15. Wildcats up the middle, explode out across the 25 to the 31-yard line. 2 minutes and 41 seconds left to go here in the third quarter. Ponca City took the initial drive of the quarter, Nick, and started from the Rougher 48 and had it 1st and 10 at the 18 before Walker Newton got the INT. The Roughers started from their 20 and used those 10 plays, so now you'll see if the Rougher defense can come up with yet still another good stand.
Roughers defensively now need to try and find a way to kind of stop that running game that's kind of just ground out the yardage tonight.
2 minutes, 41 seconds left to play here in the third. Tay Moore, the sophomore running back, handing it off to Blake Bristow, trying to come to the corner, had a blocker. Roughers go for the ankles, can't make it, and then coming over to finally make the tackle is Jaron Riggs-Brown, but not before Blake Bristow has exploded upfield from the 31 to the 39. A gain of 8 on first down. The clock stops as the players went out of bounds. Now they'll start it ready for play.
Bristow 131 yards tonight carrying for the Wildcats.
It's his 4th 100-yard performance this season. And he's only a junior. Tay Moore with the running back off his left shoulder. Just going to hand it straight ahead. The crease block, get out to the edge and able to turn the corner. 45 midfield into Rougher territory before scampering out of bounds at what will be the 42-yard line. The blocking out on the edge, Nick, has just been superb for the Ponca City Wildcats, allowing Bristow, once he turns the corner, to just focus his eyes straight ahead. He'll go that time from the 39 on one end, 11 up, another 8 down, 19 yards, and a Wildcat 1st and 10 on the Muskogee 42.
He's got deceptively quick speed, too. Once he gets that corner turn, he just kind of kicks it into another gear and goes.
Now with a slot wide left and right, 2 tight end formation, hand it off again, straight ahead. This time the Roughers get in there and submarine on the play. Deshaun Smith, one of the green jerseys, diving at the ankles of Blake Bristow. Forward progress will net 3 from the 42 to the 39-yard line as we go under 2 minutes left here in quarter number 3. Muskogee in front, 21-20. Scoreboard update brought to you by Kyle Edwards Buick GMC.
So the Muskogee offense, or Muskogee defense, still not quite finding consistency is stopping that run game. Bristow, one play will get 12, 15 yards.
2nd and 7. Play action. Moore's going to keep it this time, and he might have been wise to hand it off because the Roughers had the back door locked and well guarded. Getting in there that time for Muskogee was Ronald Warren. Stopping that actually for a loss, Nick, back across the 40 to the 41. So a loss of 2 on 2nd down. It'll now be 3rd down and 11 for the Wildcats. Or 3rd down and 9 for the Wildcats.
Roughers have done a good job on Moore tonight. He came in with 506 yards, with 338 yards rushing so far this season, and they've limited him to just 33 so far tonight.
Now it'll be Luke Payne, wide receiver, along with Lane Sholey to the right. Cunningham is to the left. Back in the pocket is Moore. They throw a little bubble screen underneath, caught by Krieger. He's at the 40, and as he's tripped up and falls forward down to about the 33, be a yard short. So an 8-yard pickup, and it'll be 4th down and an extended yard to go. So, Nick, if you're Ponca City here, you want to guess where the ball's going?
Yeah. But you kind of wonder if everyone's expecting that, and you might try something a little different here.
Cats this time, again, will go double tight I formation, actually with the quarterback in the middle of the gun. Now they'll put the sniffer back right over in front. Roughers don't jump on the hard count by Moore. Now the snap, hands off through a crease at the line of scrimmage. 1st down and change. Big change inside the 30-25 into the – that's where they'll mark the football.
And I tell you what, the Ponca City line just blew the Rougher defense off that time. No one touched Bristow until he was a good 3 or 4 yards downfield.
So now the football marked at the 24-yard line. That's a 9-yard pickup on 4th down, and the clock will expire here at the end of the third. 21-20 is our third quarter score. Roughers with the advantage. See if we can't get our cameras down on field level on the north end zone. See if we can't get our cameras focused on the field challenge that tonight is sponsored by tonight's game night sponsor, Manhattan Construction. we've got the golfers against the cross-country athletes. And their job tonight will be to put on the uniforms as quickly as they can and then race to the end zone and touch the goalpost.
On your mark, get set, go.
So the young golfer trying to get on her pants. The cross-country young man is doing his job, and now he'll just pick it up and take off on an easy sprint, and this is not going to be a mismatch, or it actually is going to be a huge mismatch. And the On the Spirit Field Challenge brought to you by Manhattan Construction, building the future of Muskogee Public Schools. After 3 quarters of play, Muskogee leading Ponca City 21-20. We're back in 30 seconds. This is Rougher Football 2021.
Red Dirt Production Services proudly supports the Muskogee Roughers. Productivity in the oil and gas industry requires every member of the team to know their job and do it to the best of their abilities. Just like in football, teamwork is a #1 priority, and that's the mission of Red Dirt Production Services, serving the oil and gas industry through roustabout and well pumping services, along with environmental remediation and pipeline construction. Proud to join forces with the Roughers to win every day the Muskogee way. Red Dirt Production Services says, go Roughers.
Out of the timeout, a quick snap taken by Ponca City as Tay Moore, the quarterback, will run straight ahead on a first down from Muskogee 24. Gained 3 yards on the play, so it'll be 2nd down and 7. Rougher Football this season brought to you in part by Northeast Oklahoma Health Systems, by Red Dirt Production Services, by Cornerstone Funeral Home, and by Bravado Wireless, the power of connection.
I think Moore just does that every once in a while just to kind of make the Rougher defense be a little honest and not key quite so much on Bristow.
Krieger is to the right side. They hand it off to the power-running Blake Bristow as he slams straight ahead on the dive play down to about the 20-yard line, getting only 2. They're going to mark it forward progress to the 19. So the Wildcats that started this drive at their 31 went to 4th down to pick up the first down. And now in 8 plays have moved it to the Muskogee 19-yard line. The clock showing 10:58 and counting, but Muskogee on top 21-20. Scoreboard update brought to you by Kyle Edwards Buick GMC. So a 3rd and 5. Bristow. Play action series, back in the pocket, wide open receiver is Krieger. He catches it right, just looking back at it, and tumbles into the end zone for the touchdown. Well, they set that one up well, Nick. They had everybody suckered in on Bristow, and the tight end that time, Aiden Krieger, with a touchdown toss, and Ponca City has come back to take the lead.
Yeah, they set that up well. Just pound it, and running, and then set up the pass, and Krieger was wide open. Kind of had to stop and wait for the ball to get there even for a while before he was able to haul it in and go the last couple of yards into the end zone.
So now, after missing a PAT a moment ago, the Wildcats will go for it here on the 2-point conversion. Tay Moore going to play action series, wait, under pressure, sling a pass, open receiver. Did he hold on to it? Yes, he did. Making the catch is Tabron Stratton. So the 2-point conversion is successful, and Ponca City has back their 7-point lead, 28-21. We're back with 30 seconds timeout on Rougher Football 2021.
Red Dirt Production Services proudly supports the Muskogee Roughers. Productivity in the oil and gas industry requires every member of the team to know their job and do it to the best of their abilities. Just like in football, teamwork is a #1 priority, and that's the mission of Red Dirt Production Services, serving the oil and gas industry through roustabout and well pumping services, along with environmental remediation and pipeline construction. Proud to join forces with the Roughers to win every day the Muskogee way. Red Dirt Production Services says, go Roughers.
Bill Huddleston, Nick Hampton, and the Rougher TV crew tonight. Bree Gialetti, Mallory Garner, Luke Jameson, Caden Hoos, Madison Grayson, Chase Jones. Kickoff deep. Bell will field at the 15. Jaden up the sideline at the 20 and out to about the 26-yard line on the return. 10:34 to go here in the 4th.
Rougher fans will announce
Ponca City Wildcats
has a free tie in the face.
Have rallied after the Roughers had taken a 21-20 lead to come on a 69-yard drive and have a 28-21 advantage. 1st and 10 Muskogee from the 26-yard line. Handoff on the jet sweep coming back near side. Ruffers that time don't have much blocking up in front for Isaiah Gibbons. His carry will come forward to the 28, but that's only a 2-yard pickup on the first down attempt.
That jet sweep generally has been a pretty productive play for the Ruffers, but that time, as you said, Ponca City sniffed it out almost to the 29. I'm going to be generous and give him 3 on that.
So a 3-yard pickup brings up 2nd and 7. Caden McGee and Anthony Watson will be the combo receiver package to the right side. Watson and Bell on the numbers outside of the left. Now bring Isaiah in motion. They'll counter. Play action series. Ficklin sets up. Wants to throw deep downfield looking for Bell. This one is juggled and dropped. Now double coverage. A late safety coming over to help out.
But the pass was there. The first man went up tried to spear it and knock it away, and just missed it. Came down into Bell's hands for a moment, but he couldn't quite hang on to it before the second defender wrapped him up.
Isaac Valencia and Tyson Dewberry were the double team combo that time on JB. So the incomplete pass brings up 3rd down and 7 with 9:52 to play in the contest. Clock stopped on the incomplete forward pass. Gibbons and McGee will be to the wide side right, short side field, Watson and Bell. Ficklin takes the high snap, waits in the pocket with confidence, across the middle, throwing. Bell this time can't hold on to it. Fingertip deflection, maybe distracting the concentration of Bell by the defensive back Gabriel Rowland. Tough to find a open window in this umbrella-like cover 2 formation of the Ponca City Wildcats. 3 and out for the Ruffers. They'll have to punt.
Credit, though, the Ruffer offensive line. They've given Ficklin every time just about to throw the ball. He's had plenty of time to try and find someone in that umbrella.
Skylar Onebear back to punt. Gets a good snap this time, straight ahead, and towering high kick, fair catch signaled for by the Wildcats, taken at the 33. So Ponca City will get it back with 9:41 to play. Now, Nick Campton, it becomes incumbent upon the Ruffer defense to force a quick possession change because the Wildcats have shown throughout the night their ability to take time off the clock with 7, 8, 9, 10 play drives, even when they have not scored.
They have, and they've done that just about every time they've had the ball, other than the interception earlier in this third quarter. So, yeah, they're going to have to find a way to stop particularly Bristow. He's done most of the damage tonight.
Wildcats this time will put a split in and a slot to the right. Here's that blocking back in front. Bristow trying to creep his way upfield and find just a crease. He'll power forward to the 37-yard line. That'll be a 4-yard gain, but for every play, Nick, 30 seconds runs off or more on the play clock that now shows 9:20 and counting here in the fourth, and Ponca City on top 28-21.
Bristow has really good vision as he runs the football. He looks, he stops for a minute if he has to try and find a little hole like he did that time. Got 4 yards out of what looked like it might not be anything.
Now back to a double tight end formation with slots wide left and right. Tay Moore, the sophomore quarterback, again just handing off to Bristow, and he explodes into the defensive grasp of the Muskogee Ruffers, who that time were waiting at the 39-yard line. A 2-yard pickup, be second down, changing to third. The Wildcats needed to reach just shy of the 43-yard line, so this is going to be a huge 3rd down and 4 call here for Ponca City.
Let's see if Scott Harmon will try to throw the ball here or whether he's going to just continue to hand it to Bristow and see if he can find enough space there to get to the first down.
Might call on those big hogs up front that have done a good job throughout the night for the Wildcat ground game. Moore out of the shotgun with the fullback in motion. Handed off. Bristow has a crease, has the first down and change as he bounces across the 45 and out near the 46-yard line. Luke Bristow going from the 39 to the 46, getting 7 yards, but more importantly, Nick, it's another first down and 10 for Ponca City as the clock continues to become second by second the ally of the Ponca City Wildcats, who now with a 1st and 10 at the 8-minute mark, leading 28-21. Scoreboard update brought to you by Kyle Edwards Buick GMC.
27 carries for 179 yards tonight for Bristow.
One of the better running games of the year against the rougher defensive squad. Again, the double slot formation. Tay Moore going to call his own number this time, and he'll run straight ahead. But I think you're right. It's just more of a deception to get everybody looking toward Bristow and then more trying to get what he can. He does manage here to pick up 3 yards.
That's kind of what they've done all he gets 1 or 2 or 3 yards. Occasionally they'll throw him for a loss, but he'll usually get at least 2 or 3 yards, just enough to kind of keep the offense going and keep the Ruffer defense guessing a little bit.
Tay Moore kind of hobbled over to the sideline, was grasping at the calf muscle. And you see here he's not in too big of a hurry, and Ponca City may just alertly wait and ask for a timeout with 1 second on the play clock, and that's going to be the call. 6:55 to go here in the fourth. Ponca City will face second down and 6 when we return. Back in 30 seconds with the Wildcats in front of the Ruffers, 28-21. Back after this timeout of Ruffer Football 2021.
I'm Kyle Edwards for Kyle Edwards Buick GMC in Muskogee and the all-new Kyle Edwards Auto Group in Shakota. With the addition of Chevrolet, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram in Shakota and Buick GMC in Muskogee, it now gives our customers a great lineup of new makes and models to choose from. We are very proud to bring you a buying experience you won't find anywhere else. If you haven't visited us yet, come give us a chance. You'll like what you see. Family-owned, customer-friendly, Kyle Edwards Buick GMC in Muskogee and Kyle Edwards Auto Group in Shakota.
Bill Huddleston, Nick Hampton, and our Ruffer TV crew tonight from Indian Bowl. 28-21 Ponca City. As play resumes, Wildcats will have 2nd and 7 from their own 49-yard line. Update from S.E. Williams Stadium, just like everybody else has the previous 9 weeks. Bixby steamrolling the Hornets 62-13.
Wow. Not surprised, though.
Wildcats with a tight end to the right. Bring the blocking back in motion. Hand the football off for Bristow, waits patiently, and powers in behind his blocking back leader, as that's Tabron Stanton. Forward progress by Bristow will move the ball to the 41-yard line.
Bring up 3rd down and 2.
It'll be 3rd down and 2 as the Wildcats must go to the 44 to move the chains. But I'm thinking here, Nick, with the confidence of this ground game, Scott Harmon would say we're running 4 downs.
Oh, I would think so, yeah. Sure.
So now 3rd and 2. Krieger is wide to the boundary right. They'll hand it off to Bristow, who cuts through a crease, uses his hand for balance. That's a nice wrestler tactic to keep his feet, and then able to lunge forward downfield to the 41-yard line, where it'll be a 1st and 10.
5 more yards for Bristow. Puts him up to 187.
Official stopping play on the field. Ray Snoddy, the referee, is going to come over to the Ruffer sideline. And there may be some adjustment with the play clock, but players will come off the field as well. Nick, some other scores from around the district. Sand Springs having no trouble with Putnam City West. Bobby Klink's squad pitching a shutout, 44-0. And in the other contest involving district foe, Choctaw has gone final against Bartlesville. That final score 55-21.
Across the river, big offensive battle going on. Hilldale leading Fort Gibson 42-32. That game still in the 3rd quarter.
42-32 Hornets.
Yep.
So the battle for the rock continues to be an explosive night. I don't know if this was an official timeout or if it was called a timeout.
Wagner leading Sky took 27-14 in the 4th.
That's a strange. I don't want to know what's happening between Oologah and Bristow.
Well, I'll tell you, Bristow leads 19-14. Just 5 minutes left in that game.
There's a lot of people cheering for the Golden Mustangs, that's for sure. They'll mark the ball ready for play. Start the 25-second play clock on a 1st and 10 from the 42. Stanton in motion. High snap, handed off to Bristow, trying to get to the edge. This time the Ruffers got in at the knees and got the single leg takedown on Blake Bristow. And there's an offensive lineman for the Wildcats a little slow in getting to his feet.
One of the Ruffers a little bit slow, too, kind of getting up there.
Loss of a yard back upfield to the 42-yard line. But the clock, moment by moment, winding towards zeros for the final time here at Indian Bowl. With the Ruffers needing the ghost of Ruffers past to maybe raise their defensive prowess, and Ruffers come up with some sort of big-time play. 2nd and 11. Direct snap, again, give to Bristow. Out of one tackle, out of a second. Breaks tackle into open field to 30. Changes direction to 25. Still on his feet. And explodes downfield to the 16-yard line.
Boy, the referee needed to stop him there.
From the 42 to the 16. 26 yards on the run for Blake Bristow, who's been a one-man wrecking crew. Actually, they'll put it at the 15, so make it 27 yards. And the Wildcats, with an opportunity here, Nick, if they can capitalize, could put this one at a 2-touchdown margin.
That puts Bristow over the 200-yard mark now in rushing tonight.
Bristow trying to snap a 9-game losing streak to the Muskogee Ruffers here at Indian Bowl. Taymor, he'll hand off again to Bristow, who bounces out on the edge, slips through one tackler, finally will be taken to the turf on the tackle from middle linebacker Logan Elmore, but the gain is going to go to the 6-yard line, a 9-yard pickup. But again, one by one, seconds expiring off the fourth quarter clock, 4:30 and counting. And Ponca City threatening to add their fifth score of the night against the Ruffer defense.
Ponca City has not beaten the Ruffers since 1968.
Ruffers won the last meeting between the two schools in 2019 by a count of 47-6. Of course, neither team got to see each other last year because of the COVID cancellations. 2nd and a yard to go. Taymor will hand off to Bristow. He'll bounce off the line of scrimmage, and as he does, he'll, I think, fall forward to an apparent first down at the 6-yard line before Ronald Warren makes the stop.
Well,
We're going to call it short.
Nope, still at the 6.
Had to go to the 5 for the first down. So another big play for the Muskogee Ruffers, but each and every snap, Nick, just taking more and more precious seconds off this clock. 2 turnovers, so huge early in the first half. Krieger will come to the wide side along with Cunningham. Bristow, the running back, behind the quarterback, Taymor, on a 3rd and short. Handoff, Bristow, straight ahead, runs into his own man, falls forward, down to near the 5-yard line as the line judge comes in. Did he get the first down?
I think he did. Right on the 5.
Well, the referees still have not made an indication. Everybody's pointing one way or the other, and
guess they're going to measure.
They will call timeout to bring on the chains. While they do that, let me say again a special word of thanks to our many sponsors helping to make possible Ruffer football here at 2021. The live stream broadcast every Friday night and the coaches show on Tuesday nights, not only on live stream but also on radio. Cornerstone Funeral Home, J. Hodge Chevrolet, Bravado Wireless, Pioneer Abstract.
It is a first down.
They bring the chains in, and it is a first down at the 5-yard line. Northeast Oklahoma Health Systems. James Hodge Ford, Runts Barbecue, Mike Finnerty, attorney at law. By Excel Physical Therapy, Kyle Edwards Buick GMC, and Buffalo Wild Wings. By David Cobb State Farm Insurance, Nissan of Muskogee, Lesher Millsap Funeral Home. And by My Place Barbecue West. Serpro of Muskogee, Red Dirt Production Services, and by Manhattan Construction, building the future of Muskogee Public Schools.
Bristow has carried the ball more tonight than any running back Ruffers have seen so far this year. 34 carries so far in the game.
3 minutes left and the clock running on the snap of the football. Taymor just watching the clock count down second by second by second. And as he gets to 2-1, he'll hand it off to Bristow, trying to go to his right. Gets in, and then it becomes more of a rugby-type scrum as they stand up the running back with the fullback Stanton trying to help his efforts. The forward progress will be downfield to the 3. The clock will stop. Muskogee's going to take a timeout on the first down carry. Timeout on the field, 2:45 left to play here in the 4th. Ponca City on the doorstep, leading by 7, 28-21. We're back in 30 seconds. This is Ruffer Football 2021. Bill Huddleston, Nick Hampton back with you at Indian Bowl. 2nd and goal to go from the 3. Nick Hampton, I asked you earlier tonight, think about who is your all-time best Muskogee Rougher football player?
I tell you what, so many to choose from, but I think I've got to go back to the back era and go with the Burris guys. Just hard to beat the kind of career they had, and one of them getting up to be a Heisman Trophy runner-up. So
that's Kurt Burris.
Kurt Burris. So, I think that's got to be my pick as an all-time.
So now 2nd and goal to go from the 3. I'll hold my decision till after this play. Wildcats with 2:45 left to go in the game. 2nd down and goal from the 3. Rougher defensive coaches shouting out instructions. They want to crowd the line of scrimmage. Would Ponca City here possibly throw the football?
Well, they're Ponca City Technical. They just now reset the play clock again.
The clock does not start until the snap of the football. Stanton is the fullback. He moves over to the right side. They'll hand it off. Big, huge hole, and slicing his way into the end zone for yet another score is Blake Bristow. 67-yard drive on, looks like 13 plays, Nick. The 3-yard touchdown run by Bristow with 2:41 to go opens up a 2-touchdown advantage for the visiting Wildcats.
Nice drive.
Caden Anderson to come on to try yet another field goal or point after touchdown try. Snap is down here. It's good, and the kick is on the way, and it's also good. 2:41 left to go tonight here at Indian Bowl. Is there magic here at the old house? Well, it's going to take a lot of magic here for the Muskogee Roughers. 35-21, the margin of lead for the Ponca City Wildcats. We're back in 30 seconds on Rougher Football 2021.
In times of need, it's comforting to see faces of people you know and trust. Cornerstone Funeral Home in Muskogee cherishes the opportunity to be there for you and your family in life's most challenging times when friends are most important. Cornerstone Funeral Home and Crematory welcomes the opportunity to answer any questions regarding planning and pre-arrangements for you and your loved ones. Experience the difference. Cornerstone Funeral Home, 1830 North York in Muskogee, where you'll find faces you know and reputations you trust.
Welcome back to Indian Bowl. Bill Huddleston, Nick Hampton. 2:41 left to play here in the 4th. Ponca City with a plus 200-yard effort by Blake Bristow has taken a 2-touchdown advantage. The ensuing kickoff fielded at the 10. Kennedy McGee to the 20, trying to find a way to the corner at the 25, 30, 35, and then knocked to the turf at the 36-yard line. Is getting upfield to make the stop for the Wildcats was Grant Harmon. Coach's kid knows how to play special teams.
Yeah, he came back. He was injured earlier in the game, but has gotten back in there and made a nice hit. Looked like that ball might have popped up just a minute on Kennedy McGee, but he held on to it.
2:33 to play here in the contest.
Maybe a flag on the play. Yep, I think so, on the far side.
Yep.
And this is probably going to be a block of some kind or a hold.
I've got to guess it's going to be a block in the back. Referee tonight wearing the white hat, Ray Snoddy, will give us the call.
During the return, we had an illegal block in the back by the receivers team. 10 yards, this first down.
So it'll be moved from the spot of the foul, which was the 31, back to the 21. That's where Muskogee will start. 2 touchdowns down on the scoreboard, 35-21. Nick Hampton, I've waited all night long to say this, and I have to say I agree with you. Of the players I have personally seen play, Glenn Bell has to be my all-time best.
Yep.
But if you read the historical records, it has to be Kurt Burris. Not for what he did just as a rougher, but we'll talk more about that after this first down play. 1st and 10. Ficklin to roll to his left, sling a pass upfield, caught by Bell and quickly out of bounds at the 33-yard line. 12-yard pickup, Jayhad Chevrolet, Muskogee Rougher, first down at 10. Clock stops with 2:28 to go. Not just because of the fact that he was a two-way starter, a member of 2 state championship teams, but he also went on to win national championships at the University of Oklahoma, and as a lineman was the runner-up for the Heisman Trophy. Kurt Burris, my all-time Rougher great. Back in the pocket. Kamarian Ficklin trying to dance around, avoid the sack, keeps his footing, and gets upfield to about the 30, back to the line of scrimmage. But the clock continues to run with 2:14 to play. But Ficklin that time alertly not trying to throw something where there's nothing to throw to. Now Bird with it in the pocket, slings the pass on a wheel route up intended for Latavian Johnson, but Ficklen's pass was behind the intended target.
I'm not sure. That almost looked like a misread. He thought maybe Johnson was going to go sideline, and Johnson kept going.
Or he would stop to catch the football. Freshman to freshman there, Nick. That combination will be available next year, but right now the Ruffers are 2 minutes and 3 seconds away from finishing another home season without a win. Ficklen throwing upfield, diving effort ruled incomplete. Tried to go to Caden McGee. That'll stop the clock with 1:58 to play. Over 83 seasons of high school football, Nick, there have been many a shining moment for the Muskogee Ruffers, green and white. I think back to a triple overtime game, Muskogee and Jinx, with this place packed, people standing all the way around the field. Now, Jinx won that football game that night, 7-0. But that was a game to remember. Of course, some of the other games that I've had a chance to be on the broadcasting end of things, I think about the 1985 state championship when Mike Gundy led the Midwest City Bombers to a come-from-behind win against the Muskogee Ruffers. And I still say if the Ruffers had 30 more seconds for Glenn Bell and company, Muskogee with Donald Kreiner at quarterback might have found their way to the end zone and won that one. They came back the next year with the Ruffer Shuffle and won the 1986 state championship. Who was the quarterback that year? Do you remember?
No.
Tony Taylor.
Tony Taylor.
Tony Taylor. But, again, it was the bell that rang loud and strong. And as our broadcast friend Curtis Breck, he may you rest in peace, would call it student body left, student body right. And Bell and company would run to the glory land that year and beat Tulsa, Washington there at what was then called Lewis Field in Stillwater, which is now Boone Pickett Stadium.
And in more recent times, I think back, and I kind of agree with Cameron Curl. I think that game a few years ago, his senior year against Bixby, when they upset the Spartans, who were ranked number 1, and the house just came undone here at Indian Bowl.
Indeed they did. 4th down and game for the Ruffers. 1:58 to play. Twin receivers left and right. Empty backfield for Ficklen. The freshman quarterback waits, pumps, throws upfield. Bell has the catch out on the boundary and then is slung to the turf at the 44. That'll be good enough on an 11-yard pass reception and another J. Hodge Chevrolet Muskogee Ruffer first down at 10. 1:52 to play. I also remember one Friday night here, Nick, against Sand Springs, that ESPN moment.
Oh, yeah.
That's one that just makes me want to throw up in my mouth, man. It just makes you sick.
That's right.
1st and 10, Ficklen, freshman in the pocket, waits, dancing around, waiting for somebody to come open, throws upfield, has the receiver. This is Caden McGee on a dance move, bouncing out on the edge of the 35, picking up a block from Jaden Bell, and then scampers out of bounds further downfield at the 23-yard line. 33-yard pass and run combination. Jamarian Ficklen to Caden McGee. Bell, McGee, Watson, all those guys will be back next year.
That puts Ficklen over 300 yards passing tonight now.
35-21, Ponca City. 1:40 to go. Ficklen with Johnson to his left. Sets back, a little throwback underneath to the scat man. Johnson has a block. 20, 15, 10. Inside the 10, fighting for extra yardage all the way to the 4-yard line. They'll mark it at the 5. 18-yard pass and run. J. Hodge Chevrolet. Muskogee Ruffer first down at 10. Now the Ruffers with the clock running with 1:27 to go in the game. 1 timeout remaining. Quickly to the line of scrimmage. Ficklen will take the snap, throw the slant route to the end zone. Is it caught? No signal. Touchdown finally is the call. On the turf, Caden McGee gets his hands underneath it and secures the touchdown reception from Jamarian Ficklen. And the Ruffers have cut the margin to 35-27 here with 1:19 to go.
Well, great effort. Would have been easy for the Ruffers just to kind of say, no mas, but they held their heads high and stormed down the field to get within 1 score now.
79-yard drive against the Wildcats that time for 6. Skyler One-Bear, which could be his potential last PAT try. The ball down. The kick is up. It splits the uprights. Good. With 1:19 to go, the Ruffers have got back within 7. Perhaps those old Ruffer spirits are saying, we're not ready to turn out the lights here at India Bowl, Nick. Perhaps there's one of those fiddler plays that the Ruffers might be able to convert here. You know it's going to be an onside kick.
Yeah, it will definitely be. And so we'll see what happens here with the Ruffers. Trying to recover that onside and get the ball one more time if they can.
Well, in the background, you hear the Pride of Muskogee pounding out the tune on Muskogee. We challenged our Rougher TV crew earlier this year to find the words, much less learn to know the words to this fight song. I can help our crew by saying it starts with what? Bree, what are the first two words of the song?
Go
on
Ruffers.
Muskogee. On Muskogee. On to victory.
Good time. Good try, Bree.
Nice try, Bree. Stick to producing tonight's game. Bree Gialetti, Mallory Garner, Luke Jameson, Caden Hoos, Madison Grayson, and Chase Jones. Our Rougher TV crew here tonight at Indian Bowl. Everybody here is expecting the onside kick. Where do you kick it, Nick?
Well,
what do you do?
Of course.
You don't want to pooch it up high because they can signal fair catch.
And Ponca's got all their good hands guys up
Of course
to
they
50,
do.
so
you practice this daily with your kicking teams.
Ideally, you hit it and it bounces over those first guys.
Now the signal's coming to the right side. They'll squib it on the ground. It takes a high hop, but the alert effort and the sure hands, Ponca City's
Tabor and Stanton.
He secures it at the 48-yard line and more than likely secures victory tonight for the Wildcats. First and 10, Wildcats at the 48-yard line. 35-28. Before next season, Rougher TV crew, before we get to the opening game in 2022 to open the season, I'm going to ask Shane Stewart to insist that his production crew learn the words to On Muskogee. We'll have to record it of you guys and girls singing the fight song to open the broadcast. That's next August, next September. You got till then to learn the words, Bree. You and your team. First and 10 for the Wildcats. Taymor will hand off. Bristow trying to get out on the corner. Ducks under a tackler and gets up to the midfield stripe. Ruffers will take a timeout, their final one of the night. The gain of 2 from the 48 to the 50. I think it's been a lot of fun. You and I have had many exciting moments here at this location for Rougher football. When you came here, what year?
1981.
1981. And then I made the move to Muskogee in 1984. You had the Ruffers. I had Hilldale that year. And then you made a move down south to Ardmore. And I slipped into the broadcast booth as the play-by-play voice of Rougher football. And have since that time virtually been here each and every Friday night where the Ruffers have played. Then we got our partnership back together. There have been a lot of fun moments. There have been a lot of disappointing moments.
This is going to have to go down as one of the latter, I'm afraid.
Well, as they turn out the lights here tonight, It does not appear that it would be a golden moment in Rougher football history. 2nd and 8. Ruffers have no timeouts remaining, 35-28. Taymor, the sophomore quarterback, will stand 3 yards deep. He'll hand off to Bristow straight ahead. Ruffers just trying to rip the ball out, can't do so. And there more than likely will be one more snap of the football. And here, Bristow or Moore can just let the clock run down to as far down as he wants, then take a knee and still have a down with which to snap it away, and the Ruffers can't do anything about it. 50 seconds and counting, 35-28. Oh, what a pass interception and a fumble back early in the first half of action have spelled doom tonight for the Ruffers.
Slow start really hurt the Ruffers.
Don't think there's any guess about where this one's going to go. As Taymor will again stand in that same formation. He'll take the snap, hand it off to Bristow, who bounces straight ahead, stays on his feet, and gets downfield to the 47. And with 23 seconds left, Ponca City is going to snap a 9-game losing streak at the hands of the Muskogee Ruffers. And for a second straight year, and for an 8th consecutive time here at Indian Bowl, Muskogee will come up on the short end of the scoreboard. Ponca City tonight with a powerful ground game has beaten Muskogee 35-28 tonight here on the final time at Indian Bowl. Stay tuned. Our coverage of Rougher football, the postgame show, comes your way in 3 minutes on Rougher Football 2021.
It's a special time of the year at J. Hodge Chevrolet Muskogee. No tricks. I hope we get this right. Oklahoma, it's treats for trade-ins, and we need trade-ins. Come get a trade-in bonus up to $1,500 when you buy your new Chevy. No tricks. Get an appraisal at the dealership or at your home. Treats for trade-ins up to $1,500 extra. No tricks. J. Hodge Chevrolet Muskogee. 144 West Shawnee.
When you come home after a long day, Bravado Wireless Home Internet has you covered in your neighborhood or on your farm. For a limited time, our unlimited home internet has been discounted to only $49 per month with the purchase of a $99 router. And get this, the first 3 months of service is on us. So what are you waiting for? Make the switch today and visit us at bravadowireless.com for more info and to find a store near you. We are Bravado Wireless, and we believe in the power of connection.
Pioneer Abstract, proudly serving residential and commercial customers throughout Muskogee County since 1905. Serving banks, mortgage companies, and mortgage brokers with refinancing, purchase, 1031 tax-deferred exchanges, along with full escrow services and more. Pioneer Abstract offers the convenience of centralized services for escrow accounts, title insurance, and title searches. Pioneer Abstract, here yesterday, here today, and here tomorrow at 412 West Broadway in downtown Muskogee, or call Pioneer Abstract at 683-2904.
We are what makes Oklahoma proud. We are mothers. We are coaches, counselors, and teachers. We are community. We are innovators in medical technologies. We are researchers developing breakthroughs to diagnose, treat, and cure diseases. We are everyday people. We are Northeastern Health Systems.
Having a good time is an American tradition, and at James Hodge, we're proud Americans. Now is the greatest time to get together, get out, and get away, no matter where the open road takes you. Your journey starts at James Hodge, an authentic part of Oklahoma for over 50 years. Get in a perfect ride at James Hodge Ford.
The James Hodge Ford Promise. The best selection, the absolute best price, and service guaranteed. James Hodge Ford, 1200 North Main, Muskogee, online at hodgeford.com.
In sports, having the right winning strategy is often the difference between winning and losing. The same is true when you need legal representation. For more than 15 years, the law offices of Michael E. Finnerty have successfully provided the winning strategy with excellence and integrity for the people of the Muskogee area in matters of personal injury, social security disability, and workers' compensation issues. The law office, Muskogee, trusts Michael A. Finnerty, ready to develop a winning strategy. Michael A. Finnerty, 436 Court Street in Muskogee. Call 687-1155. Online at finnertylaw.com.
Welcome back to Indian Bowl, Muskogee Rougher Football post-game show on Rougher TV. Bill Huddleston, Nick Hampton, and our Rougher TV crew tonight. Powered by a solid, strong, determined running game, Ponca City Wildcats come in and spoil the final game celebrations at Indian Bowl for Muskogee as the Wildcats snap a 9-game losing streak to the Muskogee Roughers and pick up the victory 35-28. It started bad for the Roughers on the first possession, a pass interception that resulted in an ensuing, a following long drive and a score. Then the Roughers fumbled the ensuing kickoff. Ponca City comes right back to score again. And just like that, despite a missed PAT, it's a 13-0 advantage for the visiting Wildcats. Muskogee did manage to rally from that 2-touchdown deficit and take a 21-20 lead, but then Ponca City would just and more and more and more of Blake Bristow, powered by that big offensive line, slamming straight ahead and come on to build the lead back to 35-21 before Muskogee late in the game goes 79 yards on a defensive touchdown pass from Jamarian Ficklin to Caden McGee to make it by the final score, 35-28. Bill Huddleston, Nick Hampton here with you tonight from historic Indian Bowl. And Nick, it simply comes down to two things. Rougher defense could not stop the running game and the power of the Ponca City Wildcats.
That's exactly right. And the Roughers end up actually with more yardage in the game than does Ponca City, but it matters what's on the scoreboard, and the final numbers is what counts. Roughers tonight on the ground, 20 carries for 87 yards. Jamarian Ficklin, 22 of 33 through the air, 331 yards. An interception and, 2 touchdown passes this evening? And so 418 total yards.
3 touchdown
Three
passes.
touchdown passes. And 418 total yards, as we said. And 3 penalties for 25 yards. For the Ponca City Wildcats, 51 rushes tonight for 271 yards. 9 of 14 passing for Tay Moore. 106 yards, a couple of touchdowns, and an interception. So 377 yards in total offense for the Ponca City Wildcats. They just had one penalty tonight for 10 yards. And Blake Bristow carrying 39 times for 232 yards tonight.
Just exactly what the doctor ordered as far as Ponca City's game plan. Keep it simple, keep it sweep, and use the power ground game and use those big offensive lines and the blocking back in Stanton and just let Bristow do all the work. And he responded. 35-28 the final score tonight here at Indian Bowl. We're going to take our one and only timeout here in the post-game show. We'll take a 2-minute timeout, and when we return, we'll select our Buffalo Wild Wings player of the game and sign it off for the final time from Indian Bowl. Final score, Ponca City wins it 35-28. We're back in 2 minutes. This is Rougher Football 2021.
Pain is temporary, pride is forever. At Excel Therapy, we want to be your athlete's advocate for excellence. We offer treatment methods that focus on strengthening muscles and improving flexibility to improve your overall performance. And when injury sets in, Excel Therapy can aid in the recovery process. We know it's important to get back in the game, so trust the comeback experts, Excel Physical Therapy and Sports Medicine. With 16 locations and no physician referral required, you can begin healing today. From setback to comeback, the name you can trust, Excel Physical Therapy and Sports Medicine. Look for us online at exceltherapyok.com.
Hi, welcome to Nissan of Muskogee.
Here in Muskogee, I mean, we're just 45 minutes from Tulsa, but us being family owned, I mean, like I said, the customers feel like family too.
What makes Nissan of Muskogee different? It's our people and a driving desire to surpass the expectations of our customers.
We care, and that's why they come to us.
Become a part of the family and let our people take care of you. Call 918-683-6605 or go to nissanofmuskogee.com.
The Muskogee Athletic Department would like to recognize its proud Rougher Athletics sponsors: Armstrong Bank, Oklahoma Army National Guard, Arvest Bank, Chick-fil-A Muskogee, Neighbors Building Neighborhoods, St. Francis Muskogee, Tommy Nix Auto Group, Springs Skilled Nursing and Therapy. Go Ruffers!
It's a time when uncertainty spreads faster than understanding. It's also a time when taking steps to prepare can help us all find a sense of security. At ServPro, helping our nation's homes, businesses, and shared spaces be more clean, be more safe, is why we're here. Here in your community, here to help.
Welcome back to Indian Bowl, Rougher Football 2021, about to turn out the lights. As the old song they used to sing on Monday Night Football, turn out the lights, the party's over for 2021, as the Muskogee Ruffers tonight here at Indian Bowl for the final time in history will lose to the Ponca City Wildcats by the final score of 35-28. Nick, you and I have been here on so many nights of victory and or defeat, and as I always say, it's a great day to be a Muskogee Ruffer, and indeed is still at tonight no matter the final outcome because of all the surroundings of this night being senior night for 16 members of the football team and the final chapter of Rougher Football here at Indian Bowl. Your thoughts on tonight's contest and your thoughts about Rougher Football?
Well, the contest was disappointing. I think the Ruffers got off to a slow start, and that hurt them. You know, after about the first quarter and a half, Muskogee was in the game and was pretty even after that. But those two touchdowns that the Ruffers, I don't want to say gave away, because Ponca City had to make pretty long drives to get touchdowns out of those two turnovers, so it wasn't a short field deal. But turning it over really took the momentum away from the offense, and the Muskogee defensive line was just kind of off base all night long. They just could not stop the running attack of Ponca City and Bristow, as he just continued to find holes all over the place. So as far as the game, I think maybe a little disappointing. I really thought the Ruffers really had a chance to win this one tonight, so I'm kind of disappointed. But not the way I'd like to see things end here at Indian Bowl, but this stadium will have a lot of memories. It's one of those kind of older stadiums that you think about and that generally fall by the wayside eventually. I don't know if you'll ever lose a Wrigley Field or a Boston a green wall out there, those kind of parks or not, but you know, eventually they all seem to go away, and Muskogee's Indian Bowl no different as we make room for a new facility. Probably better parking is going to be the big key there because that's always been a problem here.
There's also a press box,
and an
elevator
and a press box. Right.
For our superintendent of schools and me and you to be able to get up and down the steps without having to have the cardiac monitors standing close by. But certainly, again, another year that you knew at the start the Ruffers were going to be searching for pieces. They were a very young football team. Despite having the 16 seniors, by experience, this was an extremely young squad all over the field. And then injuries throughout the year set in, forcing some even younger players to have to step into the spotlight. But I think what we saw was the future possibilities and the opportunities for the Ruffers to have not guaranteed success because you're going to have to still go out and earn it. But here tonight, I think what we saw was a culmination of a season that has given great hope for the future. And as they make the progress move from Indian Bowl to Ruffer Village and the new stadium out there next to the high school by this time next fall, Muskogee Ruffer football has a great window of opportunity ahead of it because there are a multitude of talented young men that are ready to go into this offseason, getting themselves bigger, faster, and stronger and be more focused and be ready to play at the start of the season when they will open up next August. I think the scheduled opponent in week number 1 is Fayetteville, and that will be that's a 0-week contest and a trip over to Fayetteville, Arkansas. And then if things hold as they are now, the Muskogee Ruffers would cut the ribbon on the new stadium and host Putnam City High School, PCO. That would be in the first weekend in September, next September, when the Ruffers would open their new football stadium. But for me, I mean, having been a part of this for now 36 years, it's bittersweet. It's bittersweet not only because of the final score, but it's bittersweet that you and I will walk down these steps for the last time and not return here, at least as it's scheduled, to broadcast Ruffer football from Indian Bowl. And we've had certainly our highlights. And, I think back about all the different times you and I have traveled here and there, and I think about all the trips that I spent both here at home and on the road with Curtis Brackeen and how we never lost a game, Nick, coming home. Because Coach Brackeen had a plan that would find the way for the Ruffers to get back into the win column. So, it may have come up short on the scoreboard like it here tonight, but if we'd been driving back to Ponca City in that 2.5-hour drive, by the time we got back to the Gee, Coach Brackeen would have had the Ruffers on the win column.
Well, I think you said it. I think it's kind of a look into the future, a new beginning, a new level. These young pups have all gotten a year of experience now, so bright dawn awaits them, I think, over the next couple of years. I've had people ask me this year about the Ruffers and the problems, and I say, look, they're young. 2 years from now, this team is going to look a lot different, and I think, that's in the future to go along with the new digs and the Ruffer Village and the new stadium. So I think the future is bright for this Muskogee Ruffer program.
I know our sponsors have been by our side in victory as well as in defeat, and certainly we could not do it without them. We also couldn't do it without a pretty good group of young students that give up their weekends, their Friday nights to do the games here at home or on the road. And, of course, their leader, Shane Stewart, that managed to get everybody there, not only on time, but have the equipment up and ready to go. And from the time we first started live stream broadcast, Nick, this has come light years.
Oh, yeah.
So at the future of the Ruffer live stream broadcast and radio broadcast, we got to also say thanks to Mr. Refresh back in the radio studios, Mick Reed, for producing our contest on KTFX Okie Country 101.7. Mick, appreciate you and the staff there at the radio station for being our partner again this year. But certainly, with the efforts of Bree Gialetti, Mallory Garner, Luke Jameson, Madison Grayson, there's kids that are second-generation Ruffer live stream members. Now, they're young. These kids are like the football team. They are young, and we gave them a grief throughout the year, off camera and off the air. We're going to make sure that our Ruffer TV crew learns that we don't order cheese pizza. We order beef pizza when they give you an opportunity. But we're also going to insist, Shane Stewart, that between now and next September, these 6 kids and anybody else that comes into the Ruffer TV crew not only knows the words, but they can sing the words to the Ruffer Fight song on Muskogee. I know you know them. I know you know them because you learned them as a student and then also as a coach. And so we'll be looking forward to that opportunity as well as many other golden moments for the Muskogee Ruffers. Nick, it's always fun to be in the booth with you, my man. Even though it came up short here tonight, we'll live to play another day.
You know, the year, not unexpected, I think, when people asked me at the start of the season, this is kind of what I thought. We were young. It would be a struggle this year, but things will get better as time goes by and we get an experienced team, new stadium next year.
35-28 Ponca City, the victory for Nick Hampton, for Shane Stewart, the Ruffer TV crew, and all of our many sponsors that you've heard their words throughout the season. Thanks again to your faithful support of Ruffer football and Ruffer athletics. I'm Bill Huddleston from Indian Bowl for one final time. Time to go to the house and say sine die to the historic Indian Bowl. But in victory and in defeat, it's always a great day to be a Muskogee Ruffer. Good night, everybody.
Tradition. It's a word that means a lot. Just as the tradition of the Muskogee Ruffers requires commitment of great players and coaches, Lesher Millsap Funeral Home takes pride in providing great value and commitment every day with a tradition of service to the families of the Muskogee area. Just like in football, tradition must be earned on every play, every day, not just in the final score. And that's why you can trust Lesher Millsap Funeral Home to be there for you when it counts the most. Lesher Millsap Funeral Home, proud to be part of the Muskogee tradition of excellence. Red